Chapter 1646. Knight Sorrow used the true dragon destruction art. He was more worried about Lin Xianer, so he did not want to waste any time. Datura also used her ultimate move, the Death Destruction Slash. Her opponent was a 2-star emperor, so she did not hold back at all. Under the influence of the true dragon destruction art, Bright Sun's body paused for a moment. His soul was affected. At this moment, a majestic soul power appeared in his head to block the damage caused by Knight Sorrow's true dragon destruction art on his spirit sea. Min Chr 5*13 KQ. Knight Sorrow's space-splitting spear was also blocked by Bright Sun's battle blade, but Datura's hollow blade slashed at his chest. The armor on Bright Sun's body burst out with light, blocking Datura's hollow blade attack. However, energy still poured into his body. The space-splitting spear was blocked by Bright Sunday. Knight Sorrow took a step forward and dodged Ghost Incarnation's sword. Then he used the true dragon destruction art. He did not want Bright Sun to have a chance to attack. His first move, the true dragon destruction art, was blocked by Bright Sun, but then Datura's Death Destruction Slash's negative effect was added to Bright Sun's body. Knight Sorrow's true dragon destruction art space-time and soul influence was added to Bright Sun's body again. Then the energy on the space-splitting spear changed into the Nihility Origin Kill. Datura was the same. She used the Death Destruction Slash again. She wanted to control Bright Sun alternately with Knight Sorrow. Bright Sun was a 2-star emperor. If he attacked freely, it would not be easy to defend. Bright Sun was very angry, but he was also very clear-headed. However, his soul was constantly being attacked. He did not have the ability to dodge, move, or defend. Sensing the power of Knight Sorrow's move, Bright Sun waved his battle blade and blocked the path of Knight Sorrow's space-splitting spear. Break! Knight Sorrow roared and activated the Myriad Tau Tome. The energy of the virtuous immortal body flowed into his arms, and the space-splitter spear continued to attack. As the purple energy gathered in one place, the energy of the void returned to Origin Kill completely exploded. In an instant, 1/3 of Zhao Yang's saber was destroyed and it was blasted away. Then the air-splitting spear exerted a second force and performed the void return to Origin Kill, continuing to pierce forward. The space-splitting spear pierced Clear Sun's chest, but was blocked by Clear Sun's armor. However, Knight Sorrow's attack was not over yet. The purple halo on the tip of the sky-splitting spear exploded. A hole appeared in Bright Sun's armor, and the space-splitter spear pierced through Bright Sun's body with the support of Knight Sorrow's virtuous immortal body. However, at this time, Ghost Incarnation's sword also pierced Knight Sorrow's back. This time, in order to achieve victory, Knight Sorrow did not dodge Ghost Incarnation's attack. Knight Sorrow's mysterious yellow armor exploded with a halo of energy and blocked Ghost Incarnation's sword attack. At the same time, his arms exerted strength and the space-splitter spear continued to pierce Bright Sun's body. Bright Sun waved his broken battle blade and slashed towards Knight Sorrow's neck. At this time, he had to force Knight Sorrow to retreat, or his life would be in danger. However, at this time, Datura's hollow blade also slashed towards Bright Sun's back. Defense. Knight Sorrow raised his left arm and blocked Bright Sun's attack. Then he used Afterimage Body and his bloodline talent erupted. Space Splitter Spear slashed behind him twice. Knight Sorrow did this to avoid Ghost Incarnation's second attack. His body could block Ghost Incarnation's attack, but if Ghost Incarnation used his sword to slash at his head, he would not be able to take it. Knight Sorrow defended, and Bright Sun also poured energy into his armor to defend against Datura's attack. Muffled sounds continuously rang out. Bright Sun hastily attacked, but was unable to cut through Knight Sorrow's left arm, which was protected by the mysterious yellow armor and virtuous immortal body. Datura's hollow blade also landed solidly on Bright Sun's back. However, it did not break through Bright Sun's armor. It was not because Bright Sun's armor was powerful, but because Bright Sun's 2-star Emperor level energy cultivation was very strong. It supported the armor to block Datura's attack. Datura's attack did not break through Bright Sun's defense, but the enormous power caused Bright Sun to lose his balance. His body was slashed forward, causing Knight Sorrow's space-splitting spear to penetrate deeper into Bright Sun's body. He did not have the opportunity to escape from the space-splitting spear. the space-splitting spear penetrated deep into Bright Sun's body, giving Night Sorrow the opportunity to continue his killing blow. The void energy burst through the space-splitting spear and rushed into Bright Sun's body. Then it exploded with the void extreme kill. Following a muffled sound, Bright Sun's chest exploded. Even his dantian was violently shaken. "You're messing around. Go die." Night Sorrow's right arm did not have much energy. However, for the sake of defense, his left arm was filled with energy. At this moment, his left arm smashed down, smashing onto the space-splitting spear shaft. This allowed the space-splitting spear to continue cutting downwards. He did not consider Ghost Incarnation's attack. This was because other than his afterimage, Datura would also block Ghost Incarnation's attack. Reality was as such. After slashing Bright Sun, Datura attacked Ghost Incarnation with all his strength. He did not give Ghost Incarnation a chance to attack or interfere with Night Sorrow. Following a ripping sound, Bright Sun's abdomen was also cut open. His dantian was shattered, and the energy in his body was completely removed. "You want to kill me? Do you have the right to do so?" Night Sorrow's left elbow smashed out horizontally, sending Bright Sun, whose chest and abdomen had been destroyed beyond recognition, flying. Then he chased after Bright Sun in the air. Bright Sun's eyes were filled with fear. A spear pierced through his forehead, shattering his immortal sea. Not only was Bright Sun's immortal sea shattered, but his head was also blown away. A palace-shaped treasure flew out. Night Sorrow waved his arm and imprisoned it. Then he threw it into the 8-dragon cauldron. Then, without caring about the spoils of war, he attacked Ghost Incarnation, who was being suppressed by Datura. "Trash. You don't want to be a good person, and insist on being a dog. Then die." Night Sorrow used the True Dragon Destruction art. Ghost Incarnation already had a huge amount of pressure to block Datura. Now that Night Sorrow was added, there was no possibility of him being able to withstand it. In just a moment, Night Sorrow's space-splitting spear pierced through his head and killed him completely. "Hurry up and pack up. Let's go see what's going on with Sister Xian. Night Sorrow went to Bright Sun's side and took off his armor and storage ring. Datura also took Ghost Incarnation's storage ring and weapons. "Let's go." Night Sorrow led Datura in the direction Lin Xian flew. At this moment, a million miles away from Night Sorrow's battlefield, another battle was going on. It was Lin Xian's battle with Zhao Shang and Tang Xu. Lin Xian used the strength of a peak sovereign emperor, but Zhao Shang, who was also a peak sovereign emperor, was no match for her. He was suppressed and kept retreating. After repelling Zhao Shang, Lin Xian's body flashed twice and attacked Tang Xu. Now it was 2 against 1. Lin Xian was not afraid of 2 against 1. But she was worried that Zhao Shang would restrain her, and then Tang Xu would attack Night Sorrow and Datura. That way, she would be afraid of attacking the rat for fear of breaking the vases. Lin Xian, who was attacking Tang Xu, suddenly released her aura. The power of her domain pressed Tang Xu's body to the point that he staggered. Then, a sword light flashed and split Tang Xu's body into 2. Chapter 1647. Zhao Shang, you want to play tricks with me? You're still too inexperienced. You want to eat meat in the territory of the Ethereal Empire? Do you think you can do it without even greeting me? Lin Xian's aura changed. It became deep, ethereal, and vast. Ethereal Battle Emperor. Why are you here? Zhao Shang's expression changed. He was very wary of the Ethereal Battle Emperor, because the two of them could not be compared. He was an Imperial Emperor. Even if he was a peak Imperial Emperor, he could not fight with an Imperial Emperor. They were not on the same level. I don't have time to talk nonsense with you. Lin Xian attacked. She was worried about the safety of Night Sorrow and Datura. After all, Zhao Yang was a 2-star Imperial Emperor. He was much stronger than Night Sorrow and Datura. There was a huge gap between them. There was also Buttface following Zhao Yang. Buttface Ghost Incarnation was also a half-step Imperial Emperor. He still had some strength. Lin Xian, who had used all her strength, was not something Zhao Shang could resist. He was suppressed and retreated. Losing his footing was the beginning of his defeat. Zhao Shang was constantly hit by Lin Xian's sword aura. In order to suppress the sword aura's damage to his body, his strength was greatly reduced. In less than half a cup of tea's time, Zhao Shang's body was destroyed by Lin Xian'er's sword aura. He did not have the strength to continue fighting, and his head was split open by Lin Xian'er's sword aura. Then Lin Xian'er took Zhao Shang's storage ring, weapons and protective treasures. When Lin Xian'er flew back, she met Knight Sorrow and Datura who were rushing over. Knight Sorrow, Aluo, are you okay? Sister Xian'er, how are you? After seeing each other, both sides asked anxiously. Those two bastards were killed by me and Aluo, Knight Sorrow said. So domineering. 2 half-step Imperial Emperors killed a 2-star Imperial Emperor, and a half-step Imperial Emperor without any injuries. It's too rare. Lin Xian'er felt more at ease. At the same time, she also had a new understanding of Knight Sorrow and Datura's strength. While they might be able to fight those of a higher level, fighting those of a higher level was too difficult. Sister Xian'er, what's the matter with you? Knight Sorrow asked. You killed 2 dogs, and Sister Xian'er also killed 2 old fellows. They were from the Zhaoshang Empire, Lin Xian'er said. That's great. This is a complete victory. Let's go back to camp and clean up the spoils of war, Knight Sorrow said. After that, the 3 of them returned to the campsite and began to count their spoils. Holding Clear Sun's storage ring, Knight Sorrow inspected it and found that there was still a soul imprint. He understood that he had killed Clear Sun's clone. Knight Sorrow knew that this was normal. In order to avoid risks, many cultivators would cultivate with their true bodies, while their avatars would appear to resolve disputes and fortuitous encounters. This needs to be refined slowly. His soul imprint is very strong, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. He was a half-step Imperial Emperor, so it was very difficult for him to refine a 2-star Imperial Emperor's soul imprint. Give it to me, I'll settle it for you. Lin Xian'er reached out to Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow handed the storage ring to Lin Xian'er. With just a soul attack, the soul imprint on Clear Sun's storage ring was destroyed by Lin Xian'er's soul power. What else do you have? Give it to Sister Xian'er and I'll settle it for you? Lin Xian'er asked with a smile. She knew that Knight Sorrow could not have only obtained 1 storage ring. Then I'll have to trouble Sister Xian'er. Knight Sorrow took out Clear Sun's broken armor and palace-shaped treasure. What's going on? A good armor was damaged to this extent by you. This treasure is even more impressive. Lin Xian'er looked at Knight Sorrow in astonishment. When an armor was broken, it was usually a hole made by a weapon. However, there was a hole the size of a human head in the chest area of the armor. Lin Xian'er also recognized the palace-shaped treasure. It was Zhaoshang's protective treasure, the Clear Splendor Palace. It's not easy to severely injure him without destroying his armor. Although he doesn't have a soul defensive treasure, his soul power is very strong. I couldn't care less at that time. Knight Sorrow said. It's not a problem to repair it. It's better than refining an armor. After erasing the soul imprint on the armor, Lin Xian'er handed it to Knight Sorrow. Is this treasure very powerful? Knight Sorrow asked Lin Xian'er after keeping the armor. Clear Sun is an idiot. He didn't unleash the power of this treasure. What is this? It's the Clear Splendor Dynasty's most precious treasure, the Clear Splendor Palace. It's the protective treasure of the Clear Splendor Overlord, Zhaoshang. It will take some time to erase the soul imprint. Lin Xian'er looked at the palace-shaped treasure and said. Lin Xian'er could instantly erase the soul imprint of a 2-star Emperor Realm cultivator. However, Zhaoshang's soul imprint would take some effort. Okay, then I'll have to trouble Sister Xian'er. Knight Sorrow said. Then I'll use the treasure that accelerates time first. Lin Xian'er nodded at Knight Sorrow. Then her body flashed and disappeared. After brewing a pot of tea, Knight Sorrow took out the Holy Spirit stones, elixirs and materials from Clear Sun's storage ring and organized them. Aluo, if Sister Xian'er needs that palace-shaped treasure, give it to her. Knight Sorrow said to Datura. Okay. If it weren't for Sister Xian'er keeping an eye on the 2 old guys, it would be difficult for us to achieve anything. Datura nodded. She was not an unreasonable person. While the 2 of them were talking, Lin Xian'er appeared and placed the Clear Splendor Palace in front of Knight Sorrow. Not bad. There are quite a lot of materials inside. El starter Alan Xianru understood. In fact, the Clear Splendor Palace should be held by Zhao Shang. Perhaps because she appeared too suddenly, Zhao Shang did not have time to take back the protective treasure from his son. In addition, Zhao Shang was confident in himself. Some of his treasures were placed in the Clear Splendor Palace and had not been transferred away. Therefore, Night Sorrow had benefited from it. Sister Xian'er, I didn't see you have any protective treasure. This Clear Splendor Palace is the most precious treasure of the Clear Splendor dynasty. It should be suitable for Sister Xian'er. Night Sorrow said. You're saying that you'll give this Clear Splendor Palace to me? Lin Xian'er looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. She had never thought of this. Clear Splendor was killed by Night Sorrow and Datura. The spoils of war naturally belong to Night Sorrow and Datura. Yes, since we're a team, whoever needs it can take it. Night Sorrow nodded. He did not care much about external objects. No need. Sister Xian'er has a protective treasure. But your attitude is the best gift to Sister Xian'er, Lin Xian'er said. Lin Xian'er said. She was truly moved because Yi Shang had treated her with sincerity, and there was nothing fake about it. That's fine too. Aluo, you take it. We'll benefit a lot from it. Night Sorrow handed the Clear Splendor Palace to Datura. Then Sister Xian'er, I won't stand on ceremony. Datura said with a smile. Chapter 1648. That's a good thing. They lost the chance to get the treasure because they didn't have the fortune. This fortune should belong to Sister Xian'er, said Night Sorrow. In your words, if we get it, whoever is suitable can use it, said Lin Xian'er. If it was in the past, she wouldn't have said such words because if she wanted it, others couldn't have it. She wouldn't give others a chance, but it was different now. Zhaohua Palace was such a great treasure, and Night Sorrow took it out just like that, which changed some of Lin Xian'er's thoughts. Aha! That's an opportunity that belongs to Sister Xian'er. We'll work hard to find it. Night Sorrow shook his head. He was a man of principle. Then I'll talk about the information I got. Gui Zhu had two treasures. One was the Ghost Eye, and the other was the Ghost Wings. Gui Zhu was killed by the Great Demon King, and the Ghost Eye was obtained by the Great Demon King. The whereabouts of the Ghost Wings are unknown, which means that the Ghost Wings weren't with Gui Zhu at that time. The Ghost Wings disappeared after Gui Zhu threw in the space world's origin, so it's very likely that Gui Zhu left the Ghost Wings in the evil Punisher land. The people of Zhaohua dynasty don't know where the Ghost Wings are, but they found a way to find it. They refined a treasure that can find the Ghost Wings, said Lin Xian'er. What treasure can we use to find the Ghost Wings? Asked Datura. The Ghost Ancestor is proficient in the Death attribute. The Death attribute is a fusion of time and space attribute energy, supplemented by a powerful spiritual force, creating the name Ghost Ancestor. The fusion of these energies is also known as Ghost Force. The people of the Zhaohua dynasty refined an array disk with Ghost Force. Once there is a power of the same origin, this array disk will react. Lin Xian'er took out an array disk, which she had found in Zhao Shang's storage ring. This evil Punisher land is quite big, so it's more difficult to find things. However, with the disk array, it's relatively easier, said Night Sorrow after thinking for a while. We have to thank the people of Zhaohua dynasty for this. They've made a wedding dress for us, said Lin Xian'er with a smile. Lin Xian'er said with a smile. She was in a good mood. She had long disliked Zhao Shang and the Zhaohua dynasty. Otherwise, she would not have made things difficult for the Zhaohua dynasty's great elder, Zhao Muyu. Then let's go to the core area first. The Yellow Springs River should be a more important place in the evil Punisher land, Night Sorrow said. Wait a moment, let's split the treasures in this Zhaohua palace first. This guy is really rich. Datura said. Since Lin Xian'er had erased the spirit imprint of the Bright Flower Palace, it was very easy for Datura to recognize it as its master. After recognizing it as its master, Datura discovered the resources stored within the Bright Flower Palace. I don't need it. After so many years, I don't lack resources. You and Night Sorrow can take it. Lin Xian'er naturally knew that there were many treasures in the Bright Flower Palace, but she did not touch a single Holy Spirit stone. This was her principle. She would not do anything that would cause her heart to be covered in dust. Datira then took out the resources in the Bright Flower Palace. There were 3 million Holy Spirit stones, which were placed outside the tent like a small mountain. Other than that, there were materials. There were many kinds of Emperor-grade materials for refining weapons. Knight Sorrow even found level 9 materials for refining pills, and a jar of golden red blood. Sister Xianer, what kind of blood is this? Why is it so rich in energy? Knight Sorrow asked Lin Xianer. This is the blood of the black tortoise of the Divine Beast clan. Cultivate your body. Once you enter the Emperor realm, you can refine it to strengthen your body, Lin Xianer said after taking a look. Knight Sorrow and Datira then kept the resources and moved forward according to Datira's senses. Original $5 Chapter 8 Unspecified currency above equals. Datira's original form was the Datira flower. She was born and grew up on the banks of the Yellow Spring River, so she could sense the river. In the Bright Flower Palace of the Bright Flower Dynasty, Zhao Shang smashed a dragon pillar with a punch, and then slapped Zhao Yang, who was kneeling on the ground. Lin Piaomiao, I Zhao Shang, and you are irreconcilable. Zhao Shang's eyes were filled with red light. He was extremely angry. Not only had he lost an opportunity, but he had also lost a clone. This was a loss that was difficult to make up for. The loss of his clone was huge. What Zhao Shang could not accept the most was the loss of his protective treasure, the Bright Flower Palace. This had caused him to lose a part of his battle strength and his defensive ability. Father, please calm down. Zhao Yang knelt on the ground and begged for mercy. His voice was soft. He knew that he had caused a disaster this time. The Bright Flower Palace had been lost in his hands. Bastard, you only know how to think with your lower body. Do you know who you have offended? Among them was Misty Battle Emperor's clone. Tell me, do you not deserve to die? Zhao Shang kicked Zhao Yang again. Your Majesty, please calm down. What we need to consider now is how to deal with the aftermath. Zhao Muyu, who was standing on the side, said, This is a crisis for our Bright Flower Dynasty. My clone has fallen, and my protective treasure has been lost. If Misty Dynasty attacks, we can't stop them. Of course, we couldn't in the past, but Misty Dynasty didn't have a suitable reason to attack. But now they do. Plus, we can't stop them even without Lin Piaomiao's help. Zhao Shang said angrily. We did lose a lot, but Lin Piaomiao won't care about this. She will only settle the score with us. We schemed against her entering Evil Punisher land. Zhao Muyu said. We can only endure and use compensation to appease Lin Piaomiao's anger. Sigh. We have lost a rare opportunity to turn the situation around. Zhao Shang sighed. The situation was not good, so he had to compromise. That's the only way. Zhao Muyu also felt humiliated. But he knew that it was Bright Flower Dynasty that provoked Misty Dynasty first. Men, lock this bastard up. If Misty Battle Emperor's anger can't be appeased, then drag this bastard out and punish him in front of Misty Battle Emperor. He really doesn't know what's good for him to have designs on Misty Battle Emperor. Zhao Shang was very angry. If Zhao Yang left the team alone, he would have a chance to find Gue Yi after he came out. Zhao Yang was locked up by the guards of Bright Flower Palace. Zhao Shang was still thinking about how to exchange for his protective treasure, Bright Flower Palace. He didn't expect that Bright Flower Palace wasn't in Lin Piaomiao's hands. Instead, it was owned by Datira. Great Elder, send someone to investigate. The man and woman beside Lin Piaomiao are both half-step emperors. They should be very close to Lin Piaomiao. Otherwise, the three of them wouldn't be together. They can't tolerate Zhao Yang's team. Zhao Shang said to Zhao Muyu. Then I will arrange it immediately. Find out their background. Zhao Muyu nodded. If Lin Piaomiao doesn't give up, then we can only make a move on the man and woman here to make Lin Piaomiao hesitate. That way, Bright Flower Dynasty can avoid a disaster. Also, I have to go to Celestial Sect to make some preparations. Zhao Shang said. Chapter 1649. In the Celestial Realm, there weren't many Emperor Realm experts, but there were still some. Some Emperor Realm cultivators would form factions, but they would only be second-rate factions. Factions led by Emperor Realm experts were first-rate factions, while factions led by battle emperors were top-rate factions. If a region had a top-rate faction, then the other first-rate and second-rate factions would have to bow their heads and wouldn't dare to act recklessly. The region that Knight Sara was in was called the Ethereal region in the Celestial Realm. It was led by the Ethereal Empire, but there were more first-rate and second-rate factions. It was mainly because the Ethereal Empire didn't engage in many external battles. The alliance of peak Emperor Realm experts could also exert pressure on an Emperor Realm expert. They might not be an Emperor Realm expert's match, but in a power struggle, if a top-rate faction fought against two first-rate factions, it could be destroyed, but it would also hurt their vitality. The Celestial Sect was outstanding among the first-rate factions because they had more than one Emperor Realm expert and two peak Emperor Realm experts. The last time they had a conflict with the Ethereal Dynasty, the Celestial Sect lost two of their Emperor-level elders. The Ethereal Dynasty didn't carry out a large-scale extermination because they would also suffer losses if they carried out a war of extermination. Zhaoshang came to the Celestial Sect to find an ally. In the Ethereal Empire's region, the most suitable ally for the Zhaohua Empire was the Celestial Sect. The Celestial Sect had two peak Emperor Realm experts and puppets that could increase their battle strength. Anyone would have scruples. If an Emperor Realm expert used an Emperor Realm puppet, it would be a tyrannical existence among the Emperor Realm experts. It could even protect itself in front of an Emperor Realm expert. Of course, it also depended on the level of the Emperor Realm expert. Zhaoshang found Ling Daoxiu. Ling Daoxiu was the Celestial Sect's sect master with the title of Daoxiu Emperor. Zhaoshang expressed that he was willing to become an ally with the Celestial Sect. If the Celestial Sect was in trouble, the Zhaohua Empire would definitely help. If the Zhaohua Empire was being pressured by the Ethereal Empire, he would ask the Celestial Sect to lend a helping hand. Ling Daoxiu agreed and swore a blood oath, establishing a true alliance between the two sides. An alliance wasn't only needed by the Zhaohua Empire, but also by the Celestial Sect. Zhaoshang, who felt a little more at ease, left the Celestial Sect. Although he had formed an alliance with the Celestial Sect, Zhaoshang was still working on the matter of compensation. With an alliance, Zhaoshang didn't dare and wasn't willing to start a war with the Ethereal Emperor dynasty. The Ethereal Battle Emperor was an expert on the Celestial Demon ranking, one of the best among the emperors. Even if 3 emperors worked together, it wouldn't be enough. The only pressure they could bring to the Ethereal Battle Emperor was that if they started a war, the Ethereal Emperor dynasty would be affected. On a personal level, the alliance of the emperors had no effect on the emperors. Within the Evil Punisher grounds, Knight Sorrow and the other 2 flew towards the area that Datura had sensed. Along the way, they encountered more and more evil spirits. Knight Sorrow and the other 2 would choose to take action whenever they had a body, as the fire of life was a resource. Knight Sorrow and Datura didn't need Lin Xian, or to take action. In fact, Datura didn't even need to take action. Knight Sorrow dealt with a few evil spirits on his own. Knight Sorrow could even kill a 2-star Emperor Realm evil spirit. In terms of combat power, a 2-star Emperor Realm evil spirit might be slightly stronger than a cultivator, but it lacked intelligence. Under the influence of an absolute art, Knight Sorrow could kill it. Your husband is amazing. He has such combat power as a half-step Emperor. Once he enters the Emperor Realm, his combat power will increase tremendously. He will definitely be able to defeat anyone in the Emperor Realm. Lin Xian, said to Datura, who was standing beside her and watching the battle. Yi Shang has only been cultivating for a short period of time. Compared to other half-step emperors, he is not even as long as ordinary emperors. However, he has been through battles. He is not a flower in a greenhouse, said Mandela. He is the region lord of your place, the founder of an era. He has indeed experienced much more than ordinary cultivators. Lin Xianer nodded. At this moment, Knight Sorrow was fighting a 1-star Emperor Realm evil spirit. Under the influence of the destructive True Dragon secret art, Knight Sorrow attacked alternately with the Void Return to Origin kill and the Void Extreme kill, easily killing this 1-star Emperor Realm evil spirit. Knight Sorrow waved his left hand. Energy wrapped around the red fire of life and stored it in a jade bottle. Then he threw it to Lin Xian. Lin Xian smiled and threw the jade bottle back to Night Sorrow. You have already given me 3 fire of life of the Emperor Realm evil spirit. It is enough to complete the mission. Take the rest. You will need it to enter the Emperor Realm. That's fine too. Let's kill with all our might first and see how many resources we can obtain. Then we will distribute them. Night Sorrow did not argue and put the jade bottle containing the fire of life into his storage ring. Night Sorrow, we have completed our mission with Sister Xianer. What's left is to look for opportunities, Datira said. Sister Xianer, is there any reaction from your array disc? Night Sorrow looked at Lin Xian. Right now the biggest opportunity, or rather, the opportunity for Lin Xian, to fight, was Ghost Wings. Not yet, but there is no rush. If we can find it, then it is an opportunity. If we can't find it, then the opportunity has not arrived. Lin Xian said. In fact, she was not in a hurry. The evil Punisher land was under her control. And the sealing array was also set up by her. She could come in whenever she wanted. If there was really Ghost Wings in this evil Punisher land, she was not afraid that she would not be able to find him. Night Sorrow nodded and did not say anything. He continued to move forward. If there were any evil spirits, he would kill them. No matter what level they were. As long as they were discovered, they would be completely destroyed. Originally, Night Sorrow was not like this. He only killed high-level evil spirits. It was Lin Xian, who told him that killing evil spirits would weaken the source power of the evil Punisher land. This would reduce the damage that the evil Punisher land would cause to the Celestial Realm. This would be a merit to the Celestial Realm. More equals W/B fastest % / top. Perhaps help and harm were relative. For the Celestial Realm, it was help, but for the evil Punisher land, it was harm. However, there was good and evil in the heavenly Tao. Good was good, evil was evil. Killing evil spirits was good, and that was good. With Lin Xianer's explanation, Night Sorrow did not hesitate to kill evil spirits. He began to kill as soon as he found them. Jade bottles were filled to the brim with flames of life. There were flames floating in the bottles. Flames of life existed in the form of flames. Each flame was a flame of life. Night Sorrow's pill bottles were not very good, so he refined a few bottles with arrays to store the flames of life. Night Sorrow had already filled 3 bottles. Each bottle contained 100 flames of life. There was 1 Emperor-level flame of life. Night Sorrow killed 4 Emperor-level evil spirits. However, he gave Lin Xian 3 Emperor-level flames of life. Lin Xian was an Emperor-level cultivator, and had a mission to obtain 3 Emperor-level flames of life. Night Sorrow, aren't you going to differentiate between the two? Your Aluo is a level 8 flame of life. You can complete the mission with a level 8 flame of life. Lin Xian could not help but ask when she saw Night Sorrow fill 60 flames of life, and throw them to Datira to complete the mission. No need. We can continue to collect flames of life. Taking out 60 flames of life to complete the mission is no big deal. This opportunity was given by the Misty Dynasty. We should not haggle over such small gains and losses. That would seem petty. Besides, it is Old Man Song who is leading the team. We cannot make things difficult for our friends. Night Sorrow said. Chapter 1650. Hiding. That's nothing. Everyone has their own privacy and needs their own space. It's fine as long as you're not lying. If you're lying, then you're not friends. Real friends wouldn't do that, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. It's good that you think that way. There are some things that I can't tell you, but I'm not lying. Lin Xianer said as she looked at Night Sorrow and Datira. Sister Xianer, you're thinking too much. Everyone has their own privacy. We'll remember the help you've given to me and Aluo, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Lin Xianer nodded. She knew that this was Night Sorrow. He treated people with sincerity and was considerate of others. You're a simple person, but you have to understand the dangers of the Celestial Realm. You have to pay more attention to everything. After a moment of silence, Lin Xianer reminded Night Sorrow. She was a little worried that Night Sorrow would be at a disadvantage because of his attitude. I won't. Because I'm a virtuous person. I can differentiate between good and evil. I'll be able to sense those who are scheming against me. Also, I don't make friends randomly. After arriving in the celestial realm, I seem to have deep interactions with Boss Song, Brother Wufeng, and Sister Xian. Night Sorrow said. Song Ning is very smart and capable, but he's not good at scheming. He's very friendly to his friends. As for Wufeng, although we've just met, from his deep personality, he's destined not to have many friends. However, he'll treat his friends with sincerity. You didn't misjudge them. Of course, they didn't misjudge you either. Lin Xian'er said her evaluation of Song Ning and Wufeng. Ha! Sister Xian'er didn't say anything about herself or us, Datira said with a smile. Is there a need to say anything? I don't think there's a need to say anything. Lin Xian'er shook her head. That's true. There's no need to say anything. Sometimes, words are weak. Datira nodded. From the moment Lin Xian'er refused to return the origin stone of destruction to her, and even hid it from Night Sorrow, she understood Lin Xian'er's character. As they continued forward, Datira mentioned that he felt that Edgeless and Song Ning were suitable candidates. Aluo, now that you mention it, that's really the case. Let's go back and set them up. No matter how successful a man is, he needs a warm family. No matter how strong a woman is, she still needs someone who cares about her. Lin Xian'er was stunned by Datira's words and felt a little emotional. At the same time, she felt that what Datira said made sense. She was very clear about the relationship between Song Ning and Wu Feng. In the main camp, Song Ning and Wu Feng sat opposite each other, drinking from a jar of wine. I wonder how Night Sorrow and the others are doing. I should tell them not to wander too far. I should also give them a message crystal. Edgeless looked outside the camp, a hint of worry in his eyes. It's fine. You don't have to worry. The three of them are very strong. Song Ning said. She felt the most secure. Night Sorrow and Datira were together with Lin Xian'er. They couldn't be any safer. It was much safer than this camp. Yeah, I'm just worried for nothing. Edgeless nodded. I wonder what the Battle Empress has planned for you. She won't keep you in Song Ning Manor, but I'm not sure what position you'll be placed in. Song Ning changed the topic. Mostly above that's not important. The Battle Empress has treated me with sincerity. I've joined the Misty Dynasty, so it's very appropriate for me to contribute to the Misty Dynasty. Besides, I feel a sense of belonging. In the future, I'll be someone with a strong background. Edgeless smiled. Of course. In the past, you lived in the Misty Dynasty, but you were just a rogue cultivator. Now it's different. Not to mention other places, just in this region, anyone who dares to order you around is courting death. Song Ning said. That was the truth. In the past, Edgeless was a rogue cultivator. Other cultivators were wary of his strength and friends, but he didn't have a strong background. Song Ning could help Edgeless, but that was from a personal point of view. There was a limit to how much he could help. Song Ning's words and actions represented the Misty Dynasty. But now it was different. Edgeless was personally invited by the Misty Battle Empress. Anyone who harmed Edgeless was disrespecting the Misty Battle Empress and the Misty Dynasty. The Misty Battle Empress and the Misty Dynasty wouldn't tolerate it. I understand. Also, help me gather information about the Wind Boundary. I don't have the talent of a matriarchal family. According to the Battle Empress, I might be from the Wind Boundary. My amnesiac father might be from the Wind Boundary, Edgeless said. Edgeless was a little sad. He was the only one in the heart of that amnesiac man. Edgeless gave up everything for him. All right, I'll do it for you. Edgeless, we're not strangers. Can you tell me how you plan to deal with this? Song Ning looked at Edgeless and asked. Edgeless sighed. I'm a little lost. I really want to kill all those who hurt my father. But after all, they are related to me by blood. I don't have any feelings for them. They didn't treat me as a family member. The cold poison in my body proves everything. My father and I suffered a lot of humiliation in the Nining clan. My father suffered too much for me. Edgeless, let go. We won't think about the past anymore. If anyone hurts you again, we'll kill them back, Song Ning said. All right. Actually, I've been hiding all these years because the Nining clan won't let me go. They tried to kill me and my father back then, Edgeless said in a low voice. They dare to kill us? Song Ning was a little angry. Song Ning, you don't understand the Nining clan. It's a clan with an emperor, and it's very powerful. During those years, I wandered around and hid my news. Then, I went to the Misty Dynasty and settled down, Edgeless said. Today, you'll put an end to the dispute with the Nining clan. Your bloodline and hatred will be written off. If they come to hurt you again, they'll be your enemies. If they don't come to find you, they'll be strangers, Song Ning said. I'll do as you say, but I must go to the drowning pool. That's the Nining clan's territory. Conflict is inevitable, Edgeless said. The drowning pool where Uncle was beaten? Song Ning asked. Yes, so I must go. I didn't go all these years because I wasn't strong enough. My father was beaten into the drowning pool to protect me, so I must cherish my life. I'm not afraid of death. I just don't want to disappoint my father. Edgeless was a little sad because he had suffered too much when he was young. Don't worry. When the time comes, we'll find a few friends to help us. If they dare to stop us, we'll fight. If not, I'll ask the Battle Emperor to step in, Song Ning said. All right. I've endured all these years. A little more time won't make a difference. Edgeless nodded. I'm looking forward to Night Sorrow entering the Emperor realm. Then, the cold poison in your body won't be a problem, Song Ning said. Chapter 1651. Don't worry, Night Sorrow isn't stupid. Even if he is, he still has Aluo and sister Xian Er by his side, Song Ning said. I'm not worried then, Wu Fing nodded. He didn't have many friends in his life, only Song Ning and Night Sorrow. Song Ning was always by his side, so he was especially worried about Night Sorrow. After hearing Song Ning's words, he felt more at ease because he knew that Lin Xian'er was an expert, at least not weaker than him. Currently, Night Sorrow has a lot of problems. In fact, he only needs an opportunity to solve these problems. As long as Night Sorrow enters the Imperial Realm, Gong Yufan and Yang Tianlai will no longer be a threat. So what about Yuan Ji? He's a piece of trash with a high cultivation base but low battle strength. All his time is spent on running away. Song Ning scolded. She felt very aggrieved when she fought with Yuan Ji. Yuan Ji couldn't even withstand a single attack from her, and kept running away. She couldn't do anything about it. Yes, as long as Night Sorrow enters the Imperial Realm, Gong Yufan and the others won't be a threat to him. In the Ethereal Empire, as long as he doesn't offend the Ethereal Battle Emperor, he will be able to gain a foothold and slowly develop, Wu Fing nodded. He's now a guest of the Blood Battle Arena. If he enters the Imperial Realm, he won't have his current status and status. Of course, these may not be important, Song Ning said. When she said this, she felt that Night Sorrow's combat strength would be tyrannical after entering the Imperial Realm. She could recommend him to a high position in the City Lord Mansion. But then she felt that there was no need for this. With the relationship between Night Sorrow and Lin Xian'er, even if Night Sorrow had nothing to do with the Ethereal Empire, Lin Xian'er wouldn't sit idly by if anyone dared to touch Night Sorrow. I think it's strange. I've lived in the Ethereal Empire for a long time and haven't been involved in any trouble. But how long has Night Sorrow been here? Trouble after trouble has come to him, and he's almost become the focus of the Ethereal Empire, Wu Fing said with some emotion. Only when you are the center of attention will you gain popularity. When you have a firm foothold, you will gain fame. With fame, you will gain luck. This path is extreme. You will either fall or rise quickly, Song Ning said. Night Sorrow, Datira, and Lin Xian'er continued to venture deeper into the evil Punisher grounds. Night Sorrow would kill any evil spirits they encountered. I've already collected a lot of life flames. You're here to rob us. Lin Xian'er lamented as she watched Night Sorrow continuously collect the flames of life. Night Sorrow was like a killing machine. He killed his enemies quickly in single combat, and it was the same in group battles as well. He did not lack speed, strength, or secret techniques. Lin Xian'er could not see any weakness in Night Sorrow. Lin Xian'er could also see the strength of Night Sorrow's soul strength. It was incomparably vigorous, and this could be determined from the might of Night Sorrow's soul destruction / Sister Xian'er, what's the value of the flames of life? Datira asked. It's extremely valuable. An ordinary king-level flame of life is worth tens of thousands of Saint Spirit stones, and a high-level one is worth tens of thousands of Saint Spirit stones. The flames of life of heavenly monarch level and emperor level flame of life cannot be measured by Saint Spirit stones. They are almost always bartered, and many people use them for themselves. The strength of the soul strength represents the depth of one's foundation. Don't sell or trade them. These things are extremely hard to come by. After all, the evil Punisher grounds only opens once every 10 million years, Lin Xianer said. Aluo, I've tested it. The soul strength of a heavenly monarch level flame of life is equivalent to a drop of soul cultivation fluid. It's useless to us, but the people of the chaotic realm need it. When the time comes, store some in the domain chief's manor, and let them distribute it as they see fit. Night Sorrow said. This thing is so strong. Datira hadn't studied it yet, and was shocked to hear Night Sorrow's words. In the chaotic realm, soul cultivation fluid was extremely rare, and there weren't many ways to strengthen the soul strength. However, there are also drawbacks. It's not possible to refine it beyond one's level. It's easy to be eroded by the evil aura. If one's soul is eroded, then it's completely depraved. Night Sorrow said. This was also the reason why Night Sorrow collected the flames of life of all levels. There were still some people around him whose cultivation was lower, and they also needed saint-level flames of life. After listening to the conversation between Night Sorrow and Datira, Lin Xianer was a little emotional. Night Sorrow had selfless dedication, and it was hard for the chaotic realm not to be strong. She could foresee that after a period of time, the celestial realm would have a new force led by Night Sorrow. Sister Xianer, what are you thinking? We can't rush the matter with ghost wings. We should try not to delay on the way, and head to the Yellow Springs River as soon as possible. If you still feel it when we reach the Yellow Springs River, then we'll continue to look for the next location, Night Sorrow said. I'm not in a hurry, I'm just a little emotional. Why did the Ethereal Empire set a requirement of 30 flames of life for everyone below the Emperor realm? It's because of the balance, so that those who enter will have opportunities and can contribute to the Ethereal Empire. Setting the requirement of 30 flames of life was based on the estimation that there wouldn't be much left after the cultivators who entered handed in 30 flames of life. This way, the balance wouldn't be broken. If everyone was like you, the evil Punisher land would be wiped out in a few times, Lin Xianer said with a smile. Those below the Emperor realm had to hand in 30 flames of life. This was set by Lin Xianer after watching the battles of the cultivators in the evil Punisher land. The 3 flames of life for the Emperor realm were symbolic, because without her approval, Emperor realm cultivators wouldn't be able to enter the evil Punisher land. That's true. Killing like us will break the balance, but we're here for opportunities. If we don't kill, how can we get resources? This is a little conflicting, Night Sorrow said. It's nothing. There's a reason for their existence. The more you kill, the weaker the origin energy of the evil Punisher land will be, and the greater the merit for the celestial realm. You'll feel it when you get out. You'll gain a lot from this trip, Lin Xianer said. As the controller of the evil Punisher land, Lin Xianer naturally knew how much luck one would gain from killing evil spirits. The reason why she could cultivate smoothly and the Ethereal Empire could develop smoothly was because of the suppression of the evil Punisher land. Night Sorrow was a body of merit, and the conversion of luck and merit gave him a large amount of merit power. Especially since Night Sorrow was so good at killing, it was equivalent to severely damaging the foundation of the evil spirits. There's a reason for their existence. Aluo, you start killing too. Since we're here, let's maximize the benefits, Night Sorrow decided. On the way forward, Night Sorrow and Datira started killing, and Lin Xianer was itching to join in as well. The 3 of them had tyrannical combat power, and they pushed their way forward, heading towards the Yellow Springs River. At this time, Night Sorrow's original body had arrived at the territory of a force called the Heaven's Vault Tribe. The Heaven's Vault Tribe was also a top force, and it was hundreds of millions of miles away from the Ethereal Empire. Night Sorrow had used the transmission array to teleport countless times. Chapter 1652. The Heaven's Vault Tribe was the oldest and most mysterious force in the celestial realm. The strongest person in the Heaven's Vault tribe was the High Priest, who had mastered the most elusive fate technique. Night Sorrow wasn't a newcomer in the celestial realm who didn't know anything. Before coming to the Heaven's Vault tribe, he had already looked for the handbook. He had studied the Heaven's Vault tribe. The fate technique was a special energy formed by the fusion of life energy and faith energy. It was unfathomable, just like Guizu's ghost energy. They were both extreme energies. The Heaven's Vault tribe high priest was also an expert on the celestial demon list, but there weren't many records about him. He was one of the more mysterious ones. Not only was the Heaven's Vault tribe high priest mysterious, but so was the Heaven's Vault tribe. No outsiders were allowed to enter the core area. Anyone who entered would be killed mercilessly, even if you were an Emperor Realm cultivator. Fortunately, the Heaven's Vault cliff wasn't in the core area of the Heaven's Vault tribe. It wasn't that the Heaven's Vault cliff wasn't in the core area of the Heaven's Vault tribe. It was just that the Heaven's Vault tribe had given up this area. The formation of the Sky Vault cliff was rather complex. A portion of the Sky Vault mountain was being guided by the earthly malevolent energy, and kept rising. After reaching a certain height, the earthly malevolent energy directly broke through the mountain, and broke through space. The Sky Vault cliff pierced into the void. This caused various types of spatial energy to spray out from the void crack, forming a special place. The environment was very harsh. Ordinary cultivators couldn't go forward. If they went forward, they would be torn apart by the violent energy. However, if they stayed away, it would be of great help to the cultivation and comprehension of the will. Because many people came here to cultivate, it was messy. The Heaven's Vault tribe didn't want to get involved in the disputes, and thus gave up this area. When Night Sorrow arrived, he saw cultivators sitting on the ground thousands of miles away from the Heaven's Vault cliff. Some of them were Saint Kings, some were Half-Step King, but most of them were kings, sovereigns, and even lords of heaven. Saint Kings, kings, and sovereigns came here to comprehend the elemental will. Lords of heaven sought to master the general trend of heaven and earth, and work hard to enter the Emperor realm. With the reincarnation spear on his back and dressed in white robes, Yishan continued to advance towards Heavenly Vault Cliff. He took a simple step forward, but his figure was already 50 kilometers away. This was the Void Steps, an ultimate movement technique that he had learned from his opponent's movement technique in the blood battle arena. Many cultivators who were meditating opened their eyes. They looked at Yishang's back and pondered. They all knew that another expert had come to Heaven's Vault Cliff. Because they were not strong enough, they could not advance. Every 1,000 miles, there would be a different intent pressure. Saint Kings and Half-Step Monarchs could only be 10,000 li away from Heaven's Vault Cliff, while a 1-star monarch could be 9,000 li away. Every time he advanced 1,000 miles, the pressure on his willpower would increase by a bit. Night Sorrow walked leisurely and didn't feel anything. Apart from the fact that his void attribute was already at the Half-Step Emperor realm, his spacetime attribute was also at 99%. He just needed an opportunity to become a lord of spacetime. Moreover, it wasn't as simple as that. Night Sorrow felt that as long as his elemental will was perfected, and the 7th bloodline energy point was activated, he would be able to control the general trend of heaven and earth. Night Sorrow's spacetime attribute was formed by the fusion of time attribute and space attribute. Now that the space attribute was advancing rapidly, the time attribute was improving as well. The two were already indistinguishable. Night Sorrow passed by. Pairs of eyes opened from meditation. They were all surprised because Night Sorrow didn't feel any pressure when he passed by. When he was 1,000 miles away from the Heaven's Vault Cliff, Night Sorrow stopped and looked around. He found that there were sovereigns and lords of heaven in the vicinity. They meditated at different positions. Those who grasped 91% of the will would be 900 miles away from the Heaven's Vault Cliff. Those who grasped 92% of the will would be able to advance another 100 miles. Only peak stage sovereigns and lords of heaven could get close to the Heaven's Vault Cliff. However, they couldn't stay here forever. Under the high pressure of the Heaven's Vault Cliff, they would consume a lot of energy. Once they consumed a lot of energy, they would have to retreat and recover before they could enter again. After observing Night Sorrow for a while, Night Sorrow walked towards the Heaven's Vault Cliff. Night Sorrow walked very easily because his will of spacetime was very mature. Ordinary lords of heaven's will of spacetime were not comparable to him. At this moment, Night Sorrow was using the spacetime attribute energy to protect his body. The void energy was hidden in his body. He had the true body, and no one could see it. In a short moment, Night Sorrow arrived at the bottom of the Heaven's Vault cliff. He sensed it for a moment and sat down cross-legged. Datura was still cultivating in the clear sky pagoda. Night Sorrow didn't ask her to come out. Datura didn't need to comprehend anything now. After refining the life force origin left behind by Datura Chinensis, she would naturally comprehend some things. For Datura, entering the Varch realm required time. Time to refine Datura Chinensis's life force origin. In addition, Night Sorrow also realized that he was still communicating with the Clear Sky Pagoda. However, he couldn't enter or leave as the Heaven's Tao laws had a layer of blockade. Night Sorrow sat cross-legged and sensed the energy, willpower, and the power of heaven and earth that was floating down from the Heaven's Vault cliff. He was using it as reference to perfect himself. A batch of cultivators came and went. However, Night Sorrow didn't move. He had the true body, and his energy consumption was minimal. He could bear it and concentrate on sensing the feelings that the Heaven's Vault cliff brought. Many people came and went several times. They left after exhausting themselves and came again after recovering. However, Night Sorrow didn't move at all. It was very shocking. In the Heaven's Vault tribe's sacrificial hall, a few people stood. A man in black bowed and reported about Night Sorrow's situation. Peak monarch with spacetime willpower is just a facade. Don't bother about him. Don't make things difficult for him. Don't rope him in. Let nature take its course. An old voice sounded. The man in black bowed and left. The Heaven's Vault tribe also had a motive for opening up the Heaven's Vault cliff. It was to find talents and nurture them. The core area of the Heaven's Vault tribe didn't accept outsiders, but they still had peripheral forces. The development of the peripheral forces was to unearth talents in the Heaven's Vault cliff. Pimos T new chapter in Z. Supra 1N. After the man in black left, an old man in sackcloth appeared. He was shrouded in white light and looked very sacred. Everyone in the hall bowed and greeted him. Commander, you arrange for people to pay attention to him. Don't let our people provoke him. Don't have any conflicts. He left after he finished cultivating. We'll treat it as if he never came. The old man, who was the high priest of the Heaven's Vault tribe, said, I'll arrange it right away. But I don't understand. He's just a monarch who hasn't fully comprehended willpower. What will happen? Commander Yu, who was wearing animal skin and had a valiant aura, asked. I had a feeling when he came here. I went to take a look and used the destiny technique to deduce. I found that he's the Merit Grand Sage. His other attributes are already at the pseudo-emperor level. Moreover, he's inextricably linked to Lin Piaomiao. He's the center of right and wrong. The high priest said, Are you sure he's a talent? Is he not worth roping in? Another old woman asked. Chapter 1653. Night Sorrow cultivated quietly. No one disturbed him, and he didn't go out either. When his spacetime energy was exhausted, he would switch to the void chi in his body to resist the pressure, and then recover his spacetime energy. When his spacetime energy was recovered, he would use it to resist the pressure, and then use the void chi to recover. The cycle repeated. Night Sorrow's spacetime intent had reached a bottleneck. If he didn't break through the bottleneck, he wouldn't be able to improve. However, his void domain and destruction intent were constantly improving. While the main body was cultivating, Night Sorrow's doppelganger continued to fight in the evil Punisher land. He didn't use his void domain, and only used his battle intent to protect his body. Even if he encountered an Emperor Realm evil spirit, it was the same. On this day, Night Sorrow and the other two encountered a group of evil spirits. The three of them started fighting, but just as the battle started, Lin Xian pulled Datura back. Her body flickered twice, and she appeared on a big tree. Then, she used her domain to envelop Datura and herself, and restrained her aura. Sister Xian, what are you doing? Datura didn't understand. Why did Lin Xian leave Night Sorrow behind? Night Sorrow's battle intent is transforming. We don't have enough opponents now. Let's not talk about the two of us continuing to fight. We have to think of a way to lure the evil spirits for him to kill, so that his battle intent can complete the transformation in one go and avoid detours, Lin Xianer said. Hearing Lin Xianer's words, Datira looked up and found that it was indeed so. Night Sorrow's battle was very sharp, and his body was filled with a destructive aura. That's right, it was a destructive aura. Don't be in a daze, get to work. You lure the evil spirits closer, and I'll lure some further away. Then bring them here. This is a message crystal. Crush it if there's danger. Lin Xianer tossed a message crystal to Datira, then left in a flash. She knew that Night Sorrow's current state was very subtle. If he rushed over, it would be of great help to him in the future. If he stopped, it would be more difficult for him to enter this state again. After leaving Datira's area of detection, Lin Xianer displayed her Emperor rank ability. Her body flashed and traveled 1,000 miles. When she saw evil spirits, she immediately used her domain to wrap around them. If there were any Emperor rank evil spirits that were difficult to deal with, she would immediately kill them with a wave of her hand. After obtaining a batch, Lin Xianer went to Night Sorrow's area and had Datira lure them over while Lin Xianer went to look for the next batch. At this time Night Sorrow was fighting unconsciously. When his original body was comprehending Sky Cliff's will of destruction, he was stimulated by his doppelganger's desire to kill all opponents and had an epiphany. The fighting spirit was advancing toward the destructive fighting spirit. This was the combination of the fighting spirit and the destructive fighting spirit in advance. If it was completed, there would be no bottleneck for him to enter the destructive pseudo-emperor rank in the future. After capturing 4 batches, Lin Xianer stopped. She observed that Night Sorrow's destructive fighting spirit had completely taken shape. Although he had not woken up, there was already a result of this epiphany. Aluo, you don't need to lure them. Night Sorrow's fighting spirit has completed its transformation. The destructive fighting spirit has already taken shape. He has improved as he fights. I have to say that he is very powerful. Could this be a legendary genius? Lin Xianer sighed. She naturally knew what this improvement meant to Night Sorrow. It was a huge improvement in the destruction attribute, a transformation. I'm exhausted. Datira exhaled. Lin Xianer also smiled. In these 4 hours, she had run close to 1,000,000 miles. Otherwise, how could there be so many evil spirits for Night Sorrow to kill? Now, Night Sorrow's body was surrounded by floating flames of life. The flames of life were very condensed and would not disperse in a short period of time. After killing all the evil spirits, Night Sorrow sat cross-legged. He had consumed a lot of energy during this period of time. It was also Lin Xianer who helped him get rid of the high-level evil spirits, allowing him to kill to the end in one spurt of energy. After recovering for 4 hours, Night Sorrow stood up and said, "Thank you, Sister Xianer. Thank you, Aluo." After the epiphany ended and waking up, Night Sorrow naturally understood what had happened. You have laid the foundation for the destruction domain. However, this is only your doppelganger. Did your original body cause this sudden epiphany? Lin Xianer asked. Yes, after my cultivation reached a bottleneck, my original body went out to train. Now that I'm cultivating, the doppelganger's fighting spirit triggered my original body's epiphany. Night Sorrow nodded. The celestial realm is very dangerous. Don't run around like this. You will become a target wherever you go. Lin Xianer reminded Night Sorrow. Mandela also handed over the flames of life that she had collected to Yishang. Fortunately, the 3 of them all had spirit array bottles that Yishang had refined to store the flames of life. Otherwise, they would have wasted some of the flames of life. Even if Lin Xianer refined them on the spot, she wouldn't make it in time. So many. Looking at the bottles in front of him, Night Sorrow asked in surprise. You don't know how many evil spirits you killed in the 4 hours you crazily killed. There were close to 1,000 evil spirits of different cultivation levels. Sister Xianer and I helped you lure them. We almost broke our legs running. Datira said with a smile. She was very happy that Night Sorrow had improved. Fortunately, we have been moving in the direction that Aluo sensed, and are relatively close to the Yellow Springs River. Otherwise, where would we find so many evil spirits for you to kill? If there are not enough evil spirits, it will be difficult for your fighting spirit to complete the transformation. Lin Xian'er said. Night Sorrow was also very happy. Improving his cultivation level was his pursuit. After finding a campsite, Night Sorrow took out a few jars of wine. Datura ran tens of thousands of miles to catch a wild beast and roasted it. The three of them drank wine, ate barbecued meat, and chatted. Night Sorrow was a little emotional and nostalgic. Once upon a time, he and his brothers were also like this. When he was a Qi refinement cultivator, 11th senior brother Mo Chen accompanied him. Later on, the brothers of the god-slaying team accompanied him. Now, eating barbecued meat and drinking wine, he was a little nostalgic about the past. Night Sorrow, what's wrong? Datura asked. Yi Shang spoke of his inner feelings. When our foundation is stable, we will bring them here. Datura said. The celestial realm is so deep. Who dares to say that their foundation is stable? Perhaps the ethereal battle emperor dares to say so. Night Sorrow shook his head. When you enter the emperor realm, you can tell the ethereal battle emperor that you want to open a mansion and help the ethereal dynasty rule a land. Then, your brothers and sisters can enter the celestial realm and have a stable place. When they enter the celestial realm, their development speed will increase. Lin Xian'er thought for a while and said, Sister Xian'er, I am used to being free. If I join the ethereal dynasty, I will serve the ethereal dynasty. If the ethereal dynasty gives an order that goes against my principles, will I follow it or not? If I don't do it, then what is it? If I join and don't follow their orders, I will go back on my words and go against my words. If I follow their orders, then I will go against my original intentions. Night Sorrow smiled and shook his head. You have strong principles. If the ethereal dynasty can give you a region and let you develop freely, that will be good. Lin Xian'er thought for a while and said, That will be difficult. Why should they take care of us? No one owes anyone anything in this world. I will work hard to obtain it. Night Sorrow said. Chapter 1654. After listening to Night Sorrow's words, Lin Xian'er had a rough idea. Night Sorrow was a virtuous person and had pride in his bones. His soul was noble, so he wouldn't bow down to others and wouldn't do things like seek personal gain. To put it bluntly, Night Sorrow would be the core no matter where he stood. With this analysis, Lin Xian'er felt that if there was a suitable opportunity, she would help to arrange it. Apart from their personal relationship, this wouldn't do any harm to the ethereal dynasty. Night Sorrow had his own principles. If the ethereal dynasty needed something, Night Sorrow wouldn't shirk from it even if there was no order. After drinking, the three of them continued on their journey. Because they knew each other better, they had a lot to talk about and chatted happily. By the way, Night Sorrow, you haven't told me where your real body went to cultivate. Lin Xian'er thought of a question. I'm cultivating at the Heavens Cliff of the Heavens Territory, Night Sorrow said. He didn't hide anything from Lin Xian'er. You're a little reckless. The Heavens Territory is very complicated. Maybe it's nothing now, but when you want to leave, there might be trouble. Lin Xian'er thought for a moment and said. She knew about the various forces in the celestial realm, and she also knew about some of the tricks of the Heavens Territory. Sister Xian'er, what are the hidden dangers? Datura asked. The Heavens Cliff is open to attract some cultivators. Those with good aptitudes can't escape their eyes. They will find ways to recruit them and develop them as peripheral forces. They will earn resources for the core of the Heavens Territory, gather information, and so on. In other words, they are a group of people who serve the core of the Heavens Territory. If they don't accept them, there won't be any good results, Lin Xian'er said. It's that complicated? Then we'll just sneak away when we're almost done cultivating, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a moment. It's not suitable. The High Priest of the Heavens Territory is very strong. His secret technique is the art of destiny. It's very profound. Whatever you think of, he will calculate in advance. Stay there and cultivate. When you're about to leave, inform me. I'll find someone to pick you up. I don't think the Heavens Territory will stop you. Lin Xian'er said. Sister Xian'er, High Priest Tianqiong is an expert. Will he give us face? Datira asked. I don't have many friends, but one of them is quite powerful. Even the High Priest will give him face. Night Sorrow, remember to inform me before you return. You can't be careless, Lin Xian'er said as she looked at Night Sorrow. I don't mind owing Sister Xian'er a favor, but I don't want Sister Xian'er to owe others a favor, Night Sorrow said. It's nothing. This person owes me a favor. Don't think too much about it. Let's head towards the Yellow Springs River. I have a feeling that something is going to happen. Lin Xian'er changed the topic. Night Sorrow had gone to the Heaven's Vault tribe's territory. She was worried that there would be trouble, so she decided that when Night Sorrow was about to leave, her original body would go and pick him up. Something is going to happen. We will find Ghost's wings. Sister Xian'er's fortune is here. Let's charge, Night Sorrow shouted. Lin Xian'er smiled. She had been too quiet these past few years. She had forgotten what passion and hot-bloodedness were like. Now she felt it again because Night Sorrow had an exciting energy. Being close to Night Sorrow, she was unknowingly filled with vitality. As the three of them advanced, Night Sorrow was the saber. If there was a battle, Night Sorrow would attack. Lin Xian'er and Datira would watch the battle and give a few comments from time to time. Half a month later, the three of them reached the Yellow Springs River. There were more evil spirits by the Yellow Springs River. However, some of them were in the process of evolving and would not take the initiative to attack. After evolving, they would choose to leave and not fight by the Yellow Springs River. Night Sorrow and the other two also followed this rule, and did not fight by the Yellow Springs River. Chapter Z2. New Chapter Z2, Night Sorrow and the other two could not slaughter the evil spirits that did not fight back. The three of them walked along the Yellow Springs River. When they had comprehended something, they would sit down and cultivate. As for the flames of life, the three of them had obtained enough, and did not need to deliberately obtain more. The last time, Night Sorrow had comprehended something by the Yellow Springs River, and advanced to the Void Lord realm. Walking by the Yellow Springs River still gave him some feelings, and made the structure of his void domain more solid. Datira was the same. Sometimes she would fall into deep thought. The laws and willpower contained in each section of the Yellow Springs River were completely different. It was different from the dark abyss that she was in. Therefore, she would sometimes comprehend something. However, the array disc in Lin Xian'er's hand still did not have any feelings. The three of them just walked along naturally. However, something happened that day, which surprised Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow and the other two saw a special evil spirit. Its skeleton was pale gold, and its eyes were also golden flames of life. Originally, it had evolved underground by the Yellow Springs River. Night Sorrow and the other two did not deliberately investigate, so they did not realize that it had appeared of its own accord. After this evil spirit appeared, it directly went in front of Night Sorrow. The flames of life in its eyes were burning, but there was no battle intent or hostility. What's going on? Datira grabbed the hollow knife, and was about to attack. Don't. Lin Xian'er grabbed Datira's hand. Night Sorrow and this evil spirit looked at each other. Neither of them had any intention of attacking. Night Sorrow moved to the side, and the golden evil spirit followed suit. Sister Xian'er, what's going on? An emperor-level evil spirit? Datira asked. It's not an evil spirit. It's a holy spirit. Lin Xian'er's eyes were very serious. At this time Night Sorrow said, I won't attack. You can go. After speaking, Night Sorrow walked towards Lin Xian'er and Datira. He felt that it was very strange. According to Lin Xian'er, this golden evil spirit was called a holy spirit. It had no hostility towards him. Night Sorrow walked, and this holy spirit followed. Night Sorrow, it wants to follow you. You can take it with you. Lin Xian'er said. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and nodded. Sister Xian'er, it has the power of merit. Yes, this skeleton was a body of merit when it was alive, and it was very mature. It might be a merit saint. After this person died, this skeleton was washed and purified by the Yellow Springs River. The power of merit was even purer than the glazed bone. According to my estimation, Heavenly monarchs and pseudo-emperors can't destroy its skeleton, Lin Xianer said. But this is just the condition of the body. At present, this skeleton is dominated by a soul. We don't know the condition of this soul, Night Sorrow said. If the soul is not pure enough, can it survive in this merit-glazed body? It will be annihilated by the power of merit in an instant. Not to mention whether this soul had the power of merit when it was alive. It was at least a very pure soul. Therefore, the combination of the two formed this golden body Holy Spirit. Lin Xianer looked at the golden body Holy Spirit and said, I see. I understand, but how to arrange this is still a problem. Night Sorrow rubbed his forehead. Chapter 1655. HQ head, then bring him out. This guy looks very energetic. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you can understand, then follow me. Night Sorrow looked at the golden Holy Spirit and asked. The golden Holy Spirit nodded and took a step closer to Night Sorrow. This guy will have to fight in the future, but he doesn't have a weapon. It looks like I have to think of a way. Night Sorrow looked at the golden body Holy Spirit and muttered. Just as Yi Shang's voice faded, the golden body Holy Spirit's right hand changed into a golden axe. Then it swung the axe towards Yi Shang's side, creating a deep trench in the ground. Night Sorrow jumped in fright. It was too ferocious. If he was accidentally injured, he would be sliced in half. His aura isn't stable yet. If it's stable, he'll be a Saint Spirit Emperor. What the hell is this? Lin Xianer was speechless. At first, she thought that the Holy Spirit was a half-step great emperor, but when the golden body Holy Spirit attacked, she realized that her judgment was not accurate. The golden body Holy Spirit was in the great emperor realm, but its evolution was not complete, and the aura it revealed was not stable. Brother, they're all friends. Don't cut them, Night Sorrow said to the golden Holy Spirit. The golden Holy Spirit twisted its neck and made a cracking sound. Then it nodded. That's unbelievable. How could something like this happen? How did Night Sorrow manage to get a great emperor as a follower? Mandela said in surprise. This is the tyranny of the deluxe merit grand sage. I have no choice but to concede. However, this golden body Holy Spirit is too conspicuous. Even the emperors would try to snatch it away. Night Sorrow, let's stop for 2 days. I'll get him a set of armor to hide his aura, Lin Xianer said. Thank you for your hard work, Sister Xian. What materials do you need? Night Sorrow asked. There's no need for that. For the next 2 days, all of you should cultivate in the vicinity. I'll solve this problem very soon. After saying that, Lin Xian disappeared in a flash, and an exquisite glazed pagoda appeared in her place. Night Sorrow and the golden body Holy Spirit communicated. At first, Night Sorrow needed to speak, but later, the man and the skeleton used their soul power to communicate. Night Sorrow could send his thoughts to the golden body Holy Spirit, and the golden body Holy Spirit would send its soul power to Night Sorrow's divine sea. Night Sorrow tried to let the golden Holy Spirit display its strength, but the result shocked Night Sorrow and Datura. The golden Holy Spirit's broad axe flew everywhere, and the sky was filled with golden aura chi. There were no battle techniques or secret techniques. It was just a simple and fast attack. However, it was very violent and full of righteousness. This guy is very strong. I can't withstand the strength of his attacks, Datura said. The skeleton itself is very domineering, and the soul it fused with is an emperor-level pure soul. It's just that the fusion evolution is not complete. According to Sister Xian, once the fusion is complete, the golden body Holy Spirit will be an emperor-level golden body Holy Spirit. With its speed, attack power, and shameless golden body defense, even emperor-level cultivators will have a headache when facing it. Night Sorrow looked at the golden body Holy Spirit again. 2 days later, Lin Xian came out of the time acceleration treasure. Come Night Sorrow, put it on for him. Lin Xian took out a set of full body armor. It was a black armor. Night Sorrow communicated with the golden body Holy Spirit with his soul power, and then threw the armor to the golden body Holy Spirit. The golden body Holy Spirit grabbed the armor with its left hand, and a part of the golden flames in its eyes flowed into the black armor. And the golden body Holy Spirit recognized the black armor as its master. When an evil spirit was killed, what was left was the flame of life, and what was left was the flame of soul. After being recognized by the golden body Holy Spirit's flame of soul, golden threads appeared on the black armor. Then the golden body Holy Spirit threw the armor away, and the armor disintegrated, and then buckled it on its body piece by piece. The black armor covered the entire body of the golden-bodied Holy Spirit. The lower part of the armor covered the legs of the golden-bodied Holy Spirit, and its head was also covered by the black armor. There was also a piece of armor with golden threads flowing on it, which made it look very domineering. It's too conspicuous. There's also this. Datura took out a black cloak. Night Sorrow took the cloak and put it on the golden body Holy Spirit, covering its head, and then tied the belt around its neck. It's very stylish. Datura said. It's not just stylish. The cloak is made of black iron silk, and it's impervious to force. It can block sword chi and sword chi. And the armor's defensive power is not a problem. Now no one will notice anything. Lin Xian'er said. The golden body Holy Spirit has become a living dark night reaper. Thank you, Sister Xian'er. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Then let's go. We'll see its combat power later, and see if it can adapt to this armor. Lin Xian'er said. Night Sorrow and the other two took the golden body Holy Spirit, and left the Yellow Spring River for some distance, to the area where the evil spirits would take the initiative to fight. At this moment, the golden body Holy Spirit attacked. The golden body Holy Spirit, who was wearing a cloak, moved extremely fast. As he waved the broad axe in his right hand, the golden body Holy Spirit, which was covered in black light, was very sharp. The golden body Holy Spirit was chopped into pieces. Before Night Sorrow could collect the remaining flame of life, it was absorbed by the golden body Holy Spirit's flame of soul and refined, absorbing the flame of life to evolve. Night Sorrow was very shocked. Lin Xian'er nodded. This is a heaven-defying thing. Bringing it with you is equivalent to having an additional assistant by your side. Night Sorrow let the golden body Holy Spirit fight at the periphery of the Yellow Spring River, and the three of them once again arrived at the Yellow Spring River and moved forward. The situation changed to Night Sorrow and the other two moving forward by the Yellow Spring River, and the golden body Holy Spirit was 10,000 miles away from the three of them, forming a parallel line, and followed the three of them forward. Night Sorrow, this time we killed Clear Sun and the others, and it caused a big incident. The Clear Flower dynasty lost a precious treasure, and they were afraid that this matter would be exposed and cause the Ethereal dynasty to take revenge, so they joined forces with the Celestial sect. Lin Xian'er said. The Celestial sect is very strong. I read the ancient records, and it said that they have a celestial emperor. Night Sorrow said. Yes, but the strongest in the Celestial sect are the two peak monarchs. The Celestial Emperor hasn't shown himself for a long time, and it can even be said that he isn't in the Celestial sect. Currently, the Celestial sect is in charge of the Celestial sect, and the Celestial Emperor's whereabouts are unknown. Even if the Celestial sect and the Ethereal dynasty had a conflict, he didn't show himself. Therefore, the Celestial sect's position is now a first-rate force, not a top-tier force. Of course, ordinary cultivators wouldn't know about this. The divine ranking of the Ethereal dynasty has changed a lot. Night Sorrow said with a wry smile. Don't worry, I'm here with a clone. My original body has communicated with the Ethereal War Emperor, and this matter was caused by the Clear Flower dynasty. If they don't give an explanation, we'll start a war. Lin Xian'er thought for a moment and said. That's fine. Aluo, if there's a war, we'll go to war. After all, this matter started because of us, and we can't run away from what we should face. Night Sorrow said. Okay, we don't lack people. Datura nodded. Chapter 1656. Sister Xian, does that mean something might have happened to the Heaven's Limit Saint Emperor? Night Sorrow asked. No, that guy is hiding from someone. In the Celestial Realm, there's a crazy guy known as the Great Demon King. Every once in a while he would come out to challenge someone. Guizhou was an example, and the next one might be the Heaven's Limit Saint Emperor. He admitted that he couldn't handle the great demon king. So the Heaven's Limit Saint Emperor might have gone into hiding, Lin Xianer said with a smile. Is this great demon king a scammer? Datura asked. Not really. He called himself the punishment demon king, which means that if he doesn't like someone, or someone with bad morals, he would find fault and punish them. The Heaven's Limit Saint Emperor's reputation isn't very good, especially the titled Saint Emperor, which caused the great demon king to be unhappy. Anyway, the two of them don't get along, and the Heaven's Limit Saint Emperor doesn't have enough confidence, which is the current situation, Lin Xianer said with a smile. In other words, one is a show-off, and the other is a cowardly turtle, right? Datura said. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation, you're right. That's actually the case, Lin Xianer laughed. Lin Xianer was convulsing with laughter because no one in the heaven realm had ever given her such an evaluation. But Mandela's evaluation was indeed very apartment. The three of them continued to move forward, and the Golden Body Holy Spirit maintained a parallel line with them. The Golden Body Holy Spirit's strength is rapidly increasing, Night Sorrow said. It used to be a stable evolution, but the process was slower. After waking up, it changed its method. You should know what's going on with it, right? Lin Xianer looked at Night Sorrow and asked. It's already clear. The original soul of the virtuous body skeleton has been completely annihilated, and a relatively pure emperor-level soul entered the skeleton. The soul itself was pure, and after being purified by the Yellow Springs River, it was attracted by the virtuous golden body, and the two combined to form the current Golden Body Holy Spirit. Because it was purified by the Yellow Springs River, the soul is in an ignorant state. Now it trusts me more, so it's following me. Night Sorrow nodded and explained the situation. Then there won't be any hidden dangers. You can rest assured and keep it by your side. Lin Xianer was originally a little worried, but now she was relieved. After advancing for a month, Night Sorrow and the others didn't gain anything. However, Night Sorrow's realm had increased a little. What his doppelganger saw and heard in the Yellow Springs River had stimulated his true body. His true body had perfected his nihility domain, which had reached 40% completion. On the other hand, the Golden Body Holy Spirit's cultivation base was increasing rapidly. His aura had completely stabilized at the Emperor realm. Elder Sister Xian Guizu's ghost wings are hidden very deeply, Datura said after not seeing any movement from his ghost wings. It's hard to say whether or not there will be one. You can't rush it, and you can't force it either. Let nature take its course. Lin Xianer was very calm, mainly because she had experienced many things and was able to see things very indifferently. This section of the Yellow Springs River is very long. If the formation plate still doesn't react when we reach the source of the Yellow Springs River and the Yellow Springs River, we'll just fly downstream and search for it, Night Sorrow said. You two don't need to worry about me. It's really nothing. If it's fated, it will be there. If it's not fated, don't force it, Lin Xianer said. Because they had already collected a large amount of flames of life, Night Sorrow and the others didn't care about collecting more flames of life, so they just walked along the Yellow Springs River. After a while, Night Sorrow and the others arrived at the source of the Yellow Springs River, which was where they had come from through the void. The Yellow Springs River passed through many spatial worlds, but some only passed through small corners. In spatial worlds, it was only a few 100 kilometers or even 1,000 kilometers, but in the evil execution land, it was much longer. Night Sorrow and the others had advanced very quickly, taking more than a month, which meant that they had traveled at least tens of millions of kilometers. That bastard Guizu, I don't know where he hid the ghost wings, Datura cursed. Then we'll fly downstream and search for it. If we can't find it, we'll have to go back. We can't delay our return. Sister Xianer, if we can't find it this time, we'll accompany you next time, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a moment. Okay, we'll follow your arrangements. Lin Xianer nodded. She wasn't in a hurry. In fact, she was just accompanying Night Sorrow and Datura. Once this evil execution trip is over, she can still come back, Lin Xianer said. Because there wasn't much time, Night Sorrow and the others began to fly. The Golden Body Divine Spirit followed behind. Its speed was even faster than Night Sorrow and Datura. Because of my matter, I've delayed you and the Golden Body Divine Spirit's evolution, Lin Xianer said. Don't say that. We came in together. We're a whole. Night Sorrow shook his head. Flying separately by the Yellow River wasn't completely fruitless. Night Sorrow found a skeleton in the Yellow Spring River. It was a golden-red tailbone of a demon beast. After Lin Xian identified it, she told Night Sorrow that it was the tip of the tailbone of the blood Kirin. Night Sorrow, Kirins are auspicious beasts and virtuous beasts. If this tailbone is made into the tip of a spear, it will be very suitable for you, Lin Xian said. It's a very good find. I'm puzzled that an existence like the blood Kirin could fall. Night Sorrow shook his head in confusion. Normally, entering the King Realm means that one's lifespan is unlimited. However, nothing is absolute. For example, the tribulation of breaking through, whether one's Dao heart is stable enough, and so on. Not to mention the King Realm. Even imperial emperors and emperors have the possibility of falling. Because if you're strong, your opponents are stronger, Lin Xianer said. Night Sorrow understands. Thank you for enlightening me, Sister Xianer. Night Sorrow nodded to Lin Xian. When they reached the end of the Yellow Spring River, the three still didn't find anything. Night Sorrow went to the periphery of the Yellow Spring River and carried out a massacre, collecting more than 800 flames of life. Because they were about to leave, he collected as much as he could. Sister Xian, we made a mistake and went the wrong way, Night Sorrow said. Why? Night Sorrow, what do you think? Lin Xian looked at Night Sorrow with a smile. Gui Zhu placed the space source. If Gui Yi is in this evil Punisher land, then he should be with the world source. It's meaningless for us to follow the Yellow Spring River, Night Sorrow said. Yes, we were wrong in the beginning. This time we won't make it in time, Datura said. Don't worry. If we can't do it this time, then we'll do it next time. At worst, we'll pay the price and ask Ethereal Battle Emperor to give us a chance to enter, Lin Xianer said. I'm afraid that's very difficult, right? Night Sorrow looked at Lin Xian, with some surprise. Nothing is absolute. Okay, let's go out. Lin Xianer shook her head. I can feel where the world source is, but we don't have enough time. I've experienced it before. The world source will hide from cultivators. It's difficult to get close to it, Night Sorrow said as he looked up into the distance. You can sense where the world source is? Lin Xianer turned to Night Sorrow. Chapter 1657. Yes, I misunderstood. That's it for this time. If I come again, Night Sorrow, you have to help and come with Sister Xianer, Lin Xianer said. Look at the original chapter ZD_. No problem. As long as Sister Xianer asks, I will definitely be there, Night Sorrow nodded. The Golden Body Holy Spirit needs the flames of life to advance. You kill in this area for a few more days, then we'll take your Dark Hand teleportation array back to the main camp. It'll only take a little more than 2 days, so it won't even take me a day, Lin Xianer said to the Golden Body Holy Spirit behind Yishang. All right, I will bring him to kill. Night Sorrow said and flew towards the periphery of the Yellow Springs River with the Golden Holy Spirit to kill the evil spirits. Datura and Lin Xianer followed behind. The two of them did not make a move. It was not that they could not kill the evil spirits now, but that there were not enough of them to kill. Aluo, Night Sorrow's opportunities and luck are really overbearing. With the Golden Holy Spirit following him, he will have an Emperor Realm helper in the future. And it will not be an ordinary one. If the Golden Holy Spirit evolves, no one in the Emperor Realm will be able to hurt it, Lin Xianer said. After I met him and married him, I also obtained a lot of opportunities. The opportunity to enter the Emperor Realm has a lot to do with him, Datura said. Lin Xianer exhaled. Previously, she had only read about it in the ancient records that people with a body of merit and good luck would be blessed with good luck. Now she had experienced it firsthand. Outside, the Radiant Dynasty had already sent a lot of compensation to the Ethereal Dynasty, asking them to quell their anger. One of the materials was very suitable for her. In addition, she felt that there was still hope to obtain the Ghost Wings. These were all brought after she met Night Sorrow. A few days passed, and after obtaining another 800 flames of life, Night Sorrow kept the golden body Holy Spirit that did not resist into the 8-dragon cauldron. Then, together with Lin Xianer and Datura, they activated the transfer array disk, and arrived at a place not far from the evil punishing gate, which was also the place where Night Sorrow had set up his trap. Night Sorrow, do you think we can set up a teleportation array in the celestial realm, connect it to this place, and then sneak in to help Sister Xian find Ghost Wings? Datura asked. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and said, "It's possible, but it's a little immoral. This place is guarded by the Misty Dynasty, and they are benefiting the celestial realm. It's not appropriate for us to sneak in here. We can be unscrupulous when dealing with our enemies, but it's not appropriate for us to treat the Misty Dynasty who are friendly to us like this. I'd rather pay the price and ask them to give us a chance. Sister Xianer, I'm sorry." "You don't have to apologize. I admire your character and principles. A momentary loss is nothing." Lin Xianer truly admired Night Sorrow's perseverance and felt gratified in her heart, because Night Sorrow was someone who deserved to be treated sincerely and trusted unconditionally. "However, I won't be inflexible. I'll set up the teleportation array. I can pay a huge price and even make a promise to the ethereal battle monarch to give me a chance. If he doesn't agree, then we'll do it again without harming his interests. No one can break Sister Xianer's opportunity," said Night Sorrow. "All right, I'm afraid the realm teleportation stone won't work. You'll have to change to the god's teleportation crystal. You'll have to change the array base," Lin Xianer said. Although Night Sorrow had changed his attitude, Lin Xianer felt that Night Sorrow's decision was very reasonable and had principles. It was as flexible as Night Sorrow had said. After dismantling the inter-realm teleportation array, and setting up the Emperor-level teleportation array, and hiding it, Night Sorrow clapped his hands. "Done. Then let's go to the campsite," said Datura. "There's no hurry. Let's talk about our gains and some other decisions first," said Night Sorrow. "Night Sorrow, go ahead." Lin Xianer knew that Night Sorrow had more to say. "Now that we have close to 3,000 flames of life, I plan to hand over 1,000 directly to the ethereal battle monarch. Not for anything else, but for the right to talk to the ethereal battle monarch once. As for the remaining 2,000, Aluo and I will take 1,000, and Sister Xianer will take 1,000, said Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow, what kind of decision is this? It's right for you to hand over 1,000 to the ethereal city lord, but why are you giving me 1,000? I have some things that I can't tell you at the moment, and I'm already feeling very guilty. Give me 300. You'll feel bad if you don't take even a little. Don't say anything else, or I won't be able to accept it, said Lin Xianer. She was indeed very touched. Lin Xianer knew that Yi Shang was willing to hand over 1,000 more flames of life to Ethereal City's City Lord's mansion because of her opportunity. She also admired Yi Shang for directly using 1,000 flames of life as a stepping stone. Not everyone could make such a decision, and not everyone had the courage to do so. Then I'll listen to Sister Xianer. That Jin Ling is a glutton and needs flames of life to evolve. I can't not support him. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and nodded. After the distribution, Night Sorrow and the other two returned to the main campsite. At this time, many people had returned because there were still 2 days before the retreat. Those who couldn't return might never return, just like Zhaoyang. Song Ning and Wu Feng were very happy to see that Night Sorrow and the other two had returned. Song Ning invited them into the main tent and brewed a pot of tea. Are you guys in a hurry? Wu Feng and I are very anxious. Hehe. Sorry for making Boss Song and Brother Wu Feng worry. Old Song, this is our mission. Night Sorrow took out 60 flames of life. Lin Xianer also took out 3 Emperor-grade flames of life, and handed them to Song Ning. You didn't pick any mixed equipment. As a friend, I feel that you're at a disadvantage. As one of the ethereal city lords, I'm very pleased, Song Ning sighed and said. It's nothing. I don't need to take advantage of this. Also, I'd like to ask Old Song for a favor, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow, tell me. If I can help, I'll definitely help, Song Ning nodded. Night Sorrow took out 10 spirit array containers, and pushed them in front of Song Ning. Here are 1,000 flames of life. I didn't pick any of them. I just want to see the ethereal Battle Emperor, and have a chance to enter the evil Punisher land again. Lord Battle Emperor, you can name your conditions. Night Sorrow, 1,000 flames of life. That's about all 3 of you can get in one time. And you only want one chance to enter. Is it worth it? Song Ning stood up and looked at Lin Xianer. She didn't understand the situation. Sometimes there's no such thing as whether it's worth it or not. It's only about whether you should do it or not. Boss Song, please help me pass on the message. Thank you. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards Song Ning. Alright, then I'll accept it first. I'll pass on your request. Seeing Lin Xianer turn her head to the side and ignore her questioning gaze, Song Ning had no choice but to accept it first. She planned to ask Lin Xianer about it when there was no one around. Chapter 1658. Wu Feng didn't ask because he knew that Night Sorrow must have his reasons for doing so. After that, Night Sorrow, Datira, and Lin Xianer left the main tent while Night Sorrow went to get 2 tents. Datira took out a jug of wine, poured 3 cups and pushed them in front of Night Sorrow and Lin Xianer. Night Sorrow, although you lost some resources, I support you. Friends are hard to find. You did well. Datira raised his cup to Night Sorrow. Thank you. I was worried that you wouldn't understand. Ha. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Of course not. Sister Xianer is our friend. Besides, no matter what you did was right or wrong, I will always be by your side. A real man should be like you. Datira nodded to Night Sorrow. Are you husband and wife? One says thank you and the other is shameless enough to praise you. Lin Xianer said with a smile. It's always been like this in my family. Even if it's just pouring a cup of water for the children, we will always say thank you. It's because my sisters taught us well, and also because of Night Sorrow's influence. As for praise, if I think it's right, then it should be praised. Praise is support and encouragement. Datira said. There's only one Night clan in this world. That's all I can say. Lin Xianer said. It was time to retreat. Song Ning went to Night Sorrow's tent. It's time. That brat from the Zhaohua dynasty hasn't returned. He's probably dead. Close to 20 of our soldiers didn't return. Their soul crystals have turned black. They're also dead. Song Ning's voice was a little soft and sad. She had a good relationship with the soldiers of the Song Ning army. This is fate. Lin Xianer said. After that, the group left the camp and returned to the celestial realm through the evil Punisher gate. All of you listen up, especially you loose cultivators. After this place is sealed, it will become a killing array. If you don't want to die, don't come near. Now return to the Imperial City. Song Ning ordered. At the same time, she took out the sealing array disc and activated the sealing array. She could activate it, but she could not stop it. After returning to the ethereal Imperial City, everyone went their separate ways. Night Sorrow and the other 2 returned to the Night Moon Manor. Song Ning immediately went to the towering glazed pagoda of the City Lord's mansion. When Song Ning arrived, the doors of the glazed pagoda opened wide, allowing him to enter. Dressed in loose robes, Lin Xianer stood with her hands behind her back. This was her original body. She knew Song Ning would definitely come. Miss, what's going on? Song Ning didn't stop to rest after returning to the ethereal Imperial City. Actually, I was also very confused. I never thought that he would make such a decision. Because of this, he became my first friend. Lin Xianer said as she sat on the only chair in the hall. Miss, what happened after you went in? Song Ning asked. Something did happen. His 1,000 flames of life was actually for Lin Xianer. Take it back for him. I can't accept it. Lin Xianer smiled helplessly, because the 1,000 flames of life was burning her heart. I feel very guilty for hiding my identity. You can say that I lied to him. How could I bear to let him worry about me? Also, his current lair is at the Star Moon Lake near our Greenwater City. Tell Night Sorrow that the area around the Star Moon Lake is the territory of the Star Moon Lake. Also, inform the nearby cities to not interfere with the development of the Star Moon Lake. Also, tell him that the Ethereal Empire will not restrict the development of the Star Moon Lake. He has full autonomy. If he is willing, he can accept this token if he pays 1,000,000 Saint Spirit Stones every 10,000 years, and the Misty Dynasty is willing to protect the Star Moon Lake. Lin Xian'er, or rather, the Misty Battle Empress, threw a token to Song Ning. Song Ning thanks Miss on behalf of Night Sorrow. Song Ning took the token and bowed to the Ethereal Battle Empress. You can't accept this token. You can't do that, and I don't need it. This is what I should do, Ethereal Battle Emperor said. Miss, this guy has gained your friendship. This is a huge gain. It means that his realm has a foundation. Song Ning was a little surprised by the Ethereal Battle Empress's decision. You're wrong. It's not that he gained my friendship. Friendship is not that cheap. It was not easy for me to gain his friendship. Inform him that I will arrange for the three of them to come in again at a suitable time. When they come out, they will have to hand over 300 flames of life, said the Ethereal Battle Empress. All right, I will arrange it. Song Ning nodded. Also, Wu Feng is interested in you. No matter how willing you are, you will have to come to me to ask for your hand in marriage. It's not like you don't have any relatives. If you marry a woman from the Lin family, there must be an explanation. Go back. The Ethereal Battle Empress waved her hand. Miss, wait. If he asks how we know about the Star Moon Lake, what should we say? Asked Song Ning. Your brain has been a little slow recently. Don't tell me you can't hide anything from the Ethereal Dynasty? The Ethereal Battle Empress glared at Song Ning. Song Ning smiled embarrassedly and left the glazed pagoda. She was very happy. She was really happy. She had solved a lot of problems by coming here. After staying in the Night Moon Villa for a while, Night Sorrow went to the Imperial Master Pavilion. That was his business. He had to take care of it. After looking around, Night Sorrow found that everything was fine. He went to the pavilion behind the Imperial Master Pavilion. He planned to arrange the flames of life and put some on the shelves to exchange for high-grade materials. Night Sorrow was in a good mood. He took out the 8-dragon cauldron and placed it beside him. Just as Night Sorrow was about to differentiate the flames of life, he found that everything was still. Even the flame in the crystal lamp stopped dancing. Everything was still. Domain, an extremely vast domain. Everything in the Imperial Master Pavilion was still. Only Night Sorrow could move. At this time, a middle-aged man appeared in Night Sorrow's room. The middle-aged man was wearing a loose robe and had a smile on his face. Unlike other cultivators who had long hair, this middle-aged man had short hair. May I ask why Senior is looking for Night Sorrow? Night Sorrow cupped his fists towards the middle-aged man. He knew that although the middle-aged man was calm, he was definitely a peerless expert. I'm here for you and for him. The middle-aged man pointed to the golden body evil spirit. That little girl is still not careful enough. You didn't notice it either. The golden body divine spirit doesn't seem to have any problems, but the evil punishing land left behind by Guizhou isn't so simple. Come out. The middle-aged man stretched out his right hand towards the golden body divine spirit. The middle-aged man's right hand was filled with a mysterious aura. Night Sorrow did not see any energy fluctuations, but a black energy was grabbed out of the golden body divine spirit. It was a soul. The soul began to struggle. Fine spatial cracks appeared around the soul. Guizhou, you should not have had any ideas about world merit. The heavenly way does not allow it. Suppress. The middle-aged man shook his right hand, and the black soul was scattered. Then the soul began to reassemble. A ghost face appeared on the reassembled soul. Tran Hung, what are you doing? Chapter 1659. After capturing the soul, the middle-aged man stored it in a golden artifact. This needs to be refined slowly. This is? Night Sorrow was a little confused. Little brat, you're still young and don't understand the methods of those old fellows. Guizhou's soul resides in this golden body divine spirit, but the sudden appearance of a pure soul has disrupted his plans. However, he only needs some time to complete the possession and corrosion. When that time comes, you will be the first to suffer. The middle-aged man pulled out a chair and sat down, pointing to the teapot in front of Night Sorrow. Then I'll thank Senior. Night Sorrow took the teapot and began to brew tea. He knew that this middle-aged man had no ill intentions. What senior or junior? In fact, I've just cultivated for a few years. You can call me elder brother, the middle-aged man corrected Night Sorrow. While drinking tea, the middle-aged man did not speak. After drinking a cup of tea, the middle-aged man stood up. Cultivate your body, cultivate your morals, and respect your heart. The road ahead is long, but it will also be smooth. Guizhu called elder brother Tran Hung. May I know which person on the God and Demon list is elder brother? Seeing that the middle-aged man was about to leave, Night Sorrow asked. At this time the middle-aged man's figure had already disappeared, but his voice sounded. I'm not on the list, but the God and Demon list was written by elder brother. Night Sorrow's body trembled. What kind of concept was this? The person who wrote the God and Demon list should at least know the strength of all the experts on the list. His own strength should be above the experts on the list. Everything returned to normal, and the world returned to normal. It could even be said that no one knew what had happened. Jinling also stepped forward and walked around Night Sorrow. He also did not know that he had just survived a crisis. If not for Tran Hung's help, he would have been possessed by Guizhu in the future. Without tidying up his fires of life, Night Sorrow left the Emperor's teacher tower and returned to Night Moon Villa. His heart was not calm. A domain that could freeze a large area was too powerful. In that state, he could kill anyone he wanted. Song Ming arrived at the Night Moon Villa and Lin Xianer was there as well, sitting at the same table as Night Sorrow. Seeing that Night Sorrow was distracted, Song Ming waved his hand in front of Night Sorrow's eyes. Night Sorrow rubbed his eyes. Is everyone here? What are you thinking about? Datura asked. Nothing much, old Song is here. Night Sorrow greeted. I'm here today with some good news, Song Ming said. What good news? Datura asked eagerly. This time around, you guys have done a meritorious deed for the ethereal dynasty by killing so many evil spirits. Later on, the heavens will naturally have some sort of reaction. However, things like fortune are intangible. Song Ming spoke up. The rules of the celestial realm have a cycle. When it covers this area, fortune and merit will descend. Lin Xianer added. The Battle Emperor will not take these 1,000 flames of life. She will not take advantage of others. As for you guys wanting to enter the evil Punisher land again, it's not impossible. However, you guys will have to hand over 300 flames of life as the price. Since you've already taken out 1,000, 300 won't make a difference. There's nothing to disagree about. I'll agree on your behalf. The Battle Emperor will find a suitable time to send you guys in, Song Ming said with a smile. Lin Xianer turned her head to the side. Agree on her behalf? He was just lying through his teeth. However, it was still reasonable and there were no loopholes. All right, Sister Xianer. We'll have a chance to enter. Night Sorrow waved his arm. There's something else that the Battle Emperor wants me to convey, Song Ming said. She won't ask for other things just because she didn't take these 1,000 flames of life, right? We won't force people to do things. Datura stood up and said. Aluo, calm down. Let's see what Boss Song has to say. Night Sorrow pulled Datura to sit down. Night Sorrow, your base should be at the Star Moon Lake in the Greenwater City. The Battle Emperor wants to use the Star Moon Lake as the center. The surrounding million miles will be under the jurisdiction of the Star Moon Lake. You guys can develop freely without being restricted by the Ethereal Dynasty. However, you can't harm the Ethereal Dynasty, Song Ming said. It seems like we've been exposed. Tell me about the Ethereal Dynasty's request, Night Sorrow said after letting out a breath. He was most worried about the Star Moon Lake and Star Moon City being exposed. I've said it just now. There's no request. However, you still have a choice. If the Star Moon Lake wants to be protected by the Ethereal Dynasty, you'll have to hand over the Saint Spirit Stones. Of course, you can choose not to. The Ethereal Dynasty will not interfere with the matters of the Star Moon Lake. Naturally, they won't care if the Star Moon Lake is attacked. Song Ming moved his finger. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. I didn't expect the Ethereal Battle Emperor to be such a money grubber. Datura muttered. Aluo, be careful with your words. Songming reached out and pulled Datira. She knew that the ethereal battle emperor was sitting right there. What's wrong with that? You won't let me speak? Lin Xianer smiled. She naturally knew that Datira was a straightforward person. He wasn't afraid of anyone. Boss Song, it's reasonable to hand over the Saint Spirit Stones for protection. What's the price? Knight Sorrow asked. It wasn't honorable to ask for protection. However, Knight Sorrow didn't need it. The primal chaos realm needed it. 1,000,000 Saint Spirit Stones for protection for 10,000 years. Songming said. 100 a year? Datira looked at Songming in surprise. Yes, that's what the Battle Emperor said. Songming nodded. I'll do it. I take back what I said just now. The Battle Emperor really isn't a money grubber. Datira smiled embarrassedly. Knight Sorrow, what do you think? Songming looked at Knight Sorrow. The person who could make the decision was Knight Sorrow. It's a favor. I can't refuse the kindness of others. I'll take it. However, you have to tell the Battle Emperor that the Ethereal Empire needs it. As long as it doesn't go against principles or morals, Knight Sorrow will help. Knight Sorrow sighed. Knight Sorrow, you're not happy? Songming asked. Favors are the hardest to return in this world. I'm very grateful for the Battle Emperor's kindness. If only it was 10,000,000 Saint Spirit Stones for 10,000 years. Then there would be no such thing as favors. Knight Sorrow smiled bitterly. Knight Sorrow, you're thinking too much. The Battle Emperor might not think that way. Lin Xianer said. She didn't expect that her decision would put pressure on Knight Sorrow. Yes, it's nothing. If the Ethereal Battle Emperor has a war, I'll go. I just have to be myself. Knight Sorrow said. The Battle Emperor said that if you agree, this is for you. It's the sovereign token of the Ethereal Empire. In the Ethereal Empire, it's on the same level as the Palace Master token. When other forces see this token, they will have to give way. Songming handed a token to Knight Sorrow. I'm puzzled. Our Star Moon City was built very secretly. How did it get discovered? Datira was puzzled. If the Ethereal Empire wants to know something, nothing can be hidden. Actually, this is a good thing. The Battle Emperor is really kind and doesn't have any other intentions. According to my understanding of the Battle Emperor, if she has other intentions, she will say it directly. She won't use any tricks. Songming explained on behalf of Lin Xianer. Chapter 1660. Knight Sorrow wanted to hold a banquet, so Songming went to call Wufeng. Wufeng wouldn't attend any banquets held by others. In the past few years, he hadn't attended any social events. Even if it was an invitation from the 7th Mansion head, he would reject it. He didn't want to get involved in any conflicts. However, he was more than happy to attend Knight Sorrow's banquet. Knight Sorrow was a brother he acknowledged. Wufeng and Songming arrived at Night Moon Villa. The banquet was ready. Yishang called for Hong Yi and Lan Ying, who were originally unwilling to sit at the table, to sit. You know our family's rules. No one will mind. Yishang looked at Lin Xianer and Songming as he spoke. Wufeng didn't understand why Knight Sorrow would hold a banquet. Knight Sorrow had already told him about Ethereal Battle Emperor's attitude toward Star Moon Lake. This is a good thing. It's worth celebrating. Wufeng was stunned. Ethereal Dynasty's policy towards Star Moon Lake was surprisingly good. Knight Sorrow isn't too willing. He feels like he owes her a favor, Songming said with a smile. Brother, I know you have your principles, but you don't have to think too much. If Ethereal Dynasty needs something, we will do what we can. But if it goes against our principles, then there's nothing we can do about it. Looking at it from another angle, Lord Battle Emperor is magnanimous. We can't use favors to profane her magnanimity, Wufeng said to Knight Sorrow. Thank you for your advice, big brother. I understand. Knight Sorrow nodded. It's good that you understand. Don't feel pressured. You're a man with an indomitable spirit. You know what to do. You're just putting too much pressure on yourself. I've seen the Battle Emperor before. She's indeed magnanimous. Although she's a woman, she's definitely not inferior to men, Wufeng said with a smile. You've only seen her once. Songming curled his lips. You can tell what kind of person some people are after meeting them once. Night Sorrow and I became friends after meeting once. The War Emperor was very generous when it came to me. She helped others without asking for anything in return. Of course, whether it's me or Yishang, we won't go against our conscience and accept benefits from others. Alright, let's drink. This is indeed something worth celebrating. Wu Feng raised his glass to Yishang. Lin Xianer had a smile on her face, because Wu Feng's evaluation was very honest. Everything she heard behind the scenes was the truth. Night Sorrow nodded. Yes, my mind is much clearer now. That's very good of you. How many years has it been for me to become a manor lord? I even have to follow the orders of the city lord manor. As for you, you don't have to care about anything. If there's any festive event in the ethereal dynasty, you'll be invited and have a seat, said Song Ning. I'm very grateful to the War Emperor for thinking so highly of me. If there's a chance, I'll have to thank her. Night Sorrow smiled. Looking at things from a different perspective, he felt much more relaxed. After drinking, Wu Feng and Song Ning left. Datira also sent Lin Xianer to rest. Night Sorrow brought Jinling to his resting place, and communicated with Jinling. Jinling needed flames of life that were above the Heaven Monarch realm. Low-level flames of life would not be of much use. Night Sorrow sorted out his flames of life and put a storage ring on Jinling. He filled it with 30 flames of life and told Jinling how to use it. Night Sorrow didn't have many flames of life that were above the Heaven Monarch realm. However, the consumption of flames of life of Heaven Monarch realm was not high. After all, it wasn't a resource that could be used indefinitely. After using a few flames of life, it couldn't be used anymore. For example, Night Sorrow and Datira's soul energy was saturated and couldn't be strengthened any further. Night Sorrow still had 1,700 to 800 flames of life. After sorting it out, Night Sorrow planned to send some flames of life back to Xingyue City. Letting Jinling cultivate by herself in Night Moon Villa, Night Sorrow took Datira to the former Night Mansion. He called for Qing Emperor and Wu Ling Mountain Chieftain to take the teleportation formation to Xingyue City. Night Sorrow, Datira, and Qing Emperor arrived at the City Lord Manor. Tang Jianfeng, Lord of Heaven God Hu, and the others all came over. They all knew that Night Sorrow usually had something to do when he came back. After everyone sat down, Night Sorrow explained the current situation. Domain Lord, are you saying that we can expand our forces now? Yuandao Heavenly Lord asked in surprise. That's right. The Misty Dynasty won't attack us. Instead, they'll protect our development. Night Sorrow nodded. That is to say, we can develop like the other powers. Yuandao Heavenly Lord said excitedly. It's like this. We can start developing now. Here are the flames of life. Master, you can use them as you see fit. As for how to arrange them, you can distribute them to whoever you want. Yishang took out 2 bottles of flames of life and handed them to Emperor Qing. What is the fire of life? Qing Emperor was a little confused. Datira then explained to Qing Emperor and the others the purpose of the fire of life. This is too precious. We have to use it carefully. Domain Lord, aren't you going to exchange it for resources? Leave some for the Domain Lord's manor and give it to those who have contributed. Heaven Lord Shinhu said. Everyone knew their limits. They all knew how difficult it was for Night Sorrow. Don't worry. If the chaotic realm develops well, we'll have the confidence to stand out, Night Sorrow said. After communicating with everyone, Night Sorrow told Qing Emperor and the others that in the past, the Yi Manor and the Celestial Master Pavilion could hang a plaque in Star Moon City. After settling the matters in Star Moon City, Night Sorrow and Datira returned to the city in the sky. He gave some of the Saint level and King level fires of life to Sikong Chuyu and Taishiyan. After explaining their effects, he asked them to distribute them accordingly. Night Sorrow also gave some to Yang Lei. He asked Yang Lei to give some to Yang Yu, the people from Medicine Valley, and the members of the God-slaying team. Night Sorrow did not forget anyone who had passed by him. Feeling that he did not leave anything behind, Night Sorrow stayed at home for 2 days. He told his family that they could go to the ethereal imperial city if they wanted to, but they had to be careful and not run around. After all, he still had enemies. After Night Sorrow and Datira returned to the ethereal imperial city, they sought Song Ning in the Night Moon Villa. The City Lord's manor has passed down the order that Star Moon Lake is the fief of the Overlord. The ethereal imperial city recognizes Star Moon Lake as a force, Song Ning said to Night Sorrow. But I haven't handed over the Holy Spirit stones, Night Sorrow said. He felt that the ethereal imperial city had acted a little too quickly. Sigh. You haven't handed them over, but you have me. You don't have to worry about this. Song Ning looked at Night Sorrow and shook his head. Night Sorrow took out a storage ring and said, "Help me hand over another 2 million. Okay, I'll do it for you. Night Sorrow, your mansion can hang the signboard of Star Moon Lake. Star Moon Lake's Night Moon Villa is not bad," Song Ning said. There's no need for that, right? Wouldn't that be too ostentatious? Let others know that Star Moon Lake is related to me, Night Sorrow said. It's to let others know that it's related to you so that they won't dare to make a move, Lin Xian'er said. Sister Xian'er, do you think my strength is enough to intimidate others? Night Sorrow asked with a smile. Chapter 1661. Moonstar Lake is a force recognized by the Ethereal Dynasty. They also have the sovereign token of the Ethereal Dynasty. Would Moon-Gazing Manor and Sky Sun Manor dare to touch them? Definitely not. The Ethereal Dynasty doesn't forbid internal conflicts, but there are rules. If they dare to use underhanded means outside the rules, the War Emperor can crush them to death. You're not afraid of battles within the rules, and you're not afraid of anyone below the Emperor Realm. There's no one above the Emperor Realm in Moonstar Lake. Their Emperor Realm cultivators are just decorations. Song Ning explained when he saw that Night Sorrow didn't understand. If their Emperor Realm cultivators make a move, Big Brother won't sit back and do nothing. Wu Feng looked at Night Sorrow and said, "You have friends and brothers, so there's nothing to worry about," Lin Xian'er said. "Then I'll hang up. But Boss Song, you have to know that I won't let the Moon-Gazing Manor and Sky Sun Manor off the hook for bullying me. I can't swallow my anger. They must pay the price." Night Sorrow explained his point of view. "Then we'll make them submit, until they come to apologize," Lin Xian'er said when she saw that Song Ning didn't know what to say. She was telling Song Ning her attitude. This might hurt the Ethereal Dynasty, but they are the weakness of the Ethereal Dynasty. They are also a tumor that must be dealt with. If they don't recognize their mistakes, they will suffer in the future, and even endanger the stability of the Ethereal Dynasty. Gong Yufan was able to give Yuan-Ji the Celestial Sect's puppet, which means that he has a good relationship with the Celestial Sect. If I don't deal with someone like him, who else can I deal with? Night Sorrow said. You're right. I'm sure the Ethereal War Emperor can understand. You're helping the Ethereal Dynasty solve its internal problems, Lin Xian'er said. Song Ning took the Saint Spirit Stone that Night Sorrow gave him and left. Wu Feng also left the Night Moon Manor. I'm going to refine a batch of seals that belong to the Moonstar Lake. Our people will bring them with them when they go out in the future. This way, if anyone wants to play any underhanded tricks, they won't have a reason to do so, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a moment. You're very meticulous. This way, there won't be an excuse for accidental injury. Lin Xian'er nodded. Sister Xian'er, since the Battle Emperor has agreed to let us go to the evil punishing land, we won't activate that hidden hand. Sister Xian'er can only wait, Night Sorrow said. I'm not in a hurry. I'm really not in a hurry. Lin Xian'er smiled as she shook her head. She understood that Night Sorrow was genuinely concerned about his friend. Then we will wait. Hong Yi continued to issue a challenge to the Heaven Monarch of Guanyue Prefecture according to the list, Night Sorrow said to Hong Yi. Hong Yi nodded. Don't worry, young master. I will arrange it. Young master, call the members of the God-slaying squad over. They don't have anything to do every day, and they are so anxious that they are crying out. Lanning asked. Okay, I'll leave it to you. Night Sorrow agreed after thinking for a while. Star Moon Lake still needs to develop quickly. 10,000 years is nothing in the celestial realm, and it will pass in the blink of an eye. Which force in the celestial realm hasn't developed for millions of years? The ethereal dynasty only charges 1,000,000 Saint Spirit Stones for protection for 10,000 years. 100 Saint Spirit Stones a year is very cheap. But have you thought about what would happen if Starmoon Lake didn't develop for 1,000,000 years? You can't afford it, Lin Xianer said to Night Sorrow. Yes, I've thought about this problem too. 100 Saint Spirit Stones a year is nothing in the short term. But 10,000 years would require 1,000,000 Saint Spirit Stones. And 1,000,000 years would require more than 100,000,000 Saint Spirit Stones. Thus, the ethereal dynasty is helping us stabilize in the early stages. If we want stability with this treatment, it won't work, Datira said. I know, how could I not consider this problem? What we need now is development. Aluo, can you not become an emperor in 10,000 years? Or can I not become an emperor in 10,000 years? Strength determines status. We can ask for protection, or we can choose not to, said Yishan. Is it appropriate to not ask for protection? Datira was stunned. We accept protection because we are weak, and we need it because we are weak. When we are strong enough, I believe the ethereal war emperor will make a new decision. If you become an emperor, will the ethereal dynasty still accept the Saint Spirit Stones for protection? That's not a joke. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Originally, I was anxious for you and worried that you would feel pressured, but in front of your confidence, this pressure is nothing. Lin Xianer smiled. I'm 180 years old this year, and I can cultivate to half-step emperor. No one knows what will happen in 10,000 years. I've already paid for 30,000 years. If I can't achieve anything in 30,000 years, I'll have lived in vain. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Well said. If you have this confidence, then there's nothing wrong with that. However, Night Sorrow, you must remember that no matter if you become an emperor, or an emperor, you can't leave me out of the celebration banquet. Lin Xianer looked at Night Sorrow and said, Big Sister Xian, or what are you saying? Night Moon Villa has your residence, so it's your home. You'll be there at any time. No banquet can be left out of Big Sister Xian. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Lin Xianer nodded. Night Moon Villa had really become a place for her to stay. Big Sister Xian, or you have a lot of experience. Can I ask you something? Night Sorrow asked. He wanted to know more about Tranheng. Go ahead, I'll tell you if I know. Lin Xianer nodded. In the celestial realm, experts are respected by those on the celestial demon list. However, is the celestial demon list fair and reasonable? Do the experts on the celestial demon list agree? Night Sorrow asked. The celestial demon list is a comprehensive evaluation based on cultivation, absolute arts, weapons, treasures, attributes, and so on. It's relatively fair. Currently, no one has publicly questioned it. Of course, there are examples of successful challengers. However, the successful challengers also increased their strength after the celestial demon list was created. Therefore, there's no such thing as unreasonable. Lin Xianer nodded. That means that the celestial demon list covers all the experts in the world. Datira asked. You can't say that. There are many reclusive cultivators who have never come out of seclusion, and have never made a move. There are such people who have never made a move. However, you haven't made a move, so you can't question the celestial demon list. Lin Xianer shook her head. Then what's the situation with the person who created the celestial demon list? Night Sorrow asked the question he wanted to ask. See section T of the original version √% chapter, off Tranheng. Everyone only knows him as Tranheng. He has existed for a very long time, and is the most respected emperor in the celestial realm. No one can question his strength or his legitimacy. There was once an almighty Azure Dragon who asked Tranheng why the experts of the Azure Dragons couldn't be on the list. Tranheng said that the celestial demon list only included human cultivators, and was only a list to encourage human cultivators to improve. It had nothing to do with beasts. In the end, the almighty Azure Dragon refused to accept it, and made a move. What's the result? Lin Xianer asked with a smile. Sister Xianer, don't make us anxious. Hurry up and tell us. Datira asked anxiously. Chapter 1662. So overbearing? But it's a pity that I'm not a human, so I don't have the chance to enter the list, Datira said, shaking his head. No, Aluo, are you Datira's flower now? You've completely transformed into a human, so you're a human in the world of Tran Hung. What he doesn't approve of is that you're not a human. For example, divine beast clans or talented monster beasts, they're unwilling to give up their beast form. Even if they appear in human form, it's still an illusion. Such cultivators aren't qualified to enter the celestial demon list, Lin Xian'er explained. I've completely transformed into a human. Even if I fight in my original form, it's still a skill. It has nothing to do with my genetic structure. This is proven by the fact that Night Sorrow and I can have children, Datira nodded. Tran Hung is fair, and is the pride of our human race. It's also the reason why the human race can dominate the celestial realm. So what if the divine beast clans are strong? They're still in their own world and can't dominate the celestial realm, Lin Xian'er said. I've seen him before. He's a very peaceful elder, Night Sorrow said. What? You've seen Tran Hung? Lin Xian'er asked in surprise. I've seen him before. He helped me solve a hidden danger. The soul of the Guizhu was hidden in the body of the golden body divine spirit, and was captured by Tran Hung and suppressed. Night Sorrow nodded. How many years has it been since anyone has seen Tran Hung? He actually appeared in the Misty Dynasty, and helped you solve a big problem. How rare. Lin Xian'er's face was full of shock. The Misty Dynasty was her territory. It could be said that everything was under her control. However, she didn't know that Tran Hung had come. This also showed that there was a gap between them. After all, she was the Battle Emperor who was ranked first on the Celestial Demon list. After thinking about it for a moment, Lin Xian'er shook her head. There were more than 100 experts on the Celestial Demon list, and she was ranked first because she was the strongest in terms of direct combat. However, in terms of speed and concealment, there were many people who were stronger than her, not to mention Tran Hung, who was the pillar of the human race. Night Sorrow, why didn't you say anything? We have to meet such a person. Datira complained to Night Sorrow. I didn't know at first and we didn't talk. He just left after drinking a cup of tea. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Lin Xian'er shook her head. She knew that Tran Hung wasn't someone that anyone could meet if they wanted to. She had never met him before, or even if she had met him, she didn't know. It was just like how Night Sorrow met her. He only knew that she was Lin Xian'er and didn't know that she was the Misty Battle Emperor. The signboard of the Night Moon Villa changed to the Star Moon Lake's Night Moon Villa. Lin Xian'er had an idea. She took out a big stone from the villa, and placed it beside the gate. She waved her sword and carved the words Lord's Mansion. Gong Yufan of the Moon Viewing Mansion and Yang Tianlai of the Sun Mansion knew about it. They were shocked because their sense of superiority as mansion lords was gone. They were mansion lords of the Misty Dynasty, but Night Sorrow was now a lord recognized by the Misty Dynasty. His status and position were not inferior to theirs. If he were to play any tricks, Song Ning and Wu Feng wouldn't even need to be angry. The Battle Emperor would crush them to death. Luo Yuandao brought Luo Fei to the Night Moon Villa and brought gifts to congratulate him. Night Sorrow received Luo Yuandao and his son. This was Luo Yuandao's second visit to the Night Moon Villa. The first time he came, he expressed his sincerity. He even openly said that it wasn't Night Sorrow's fault that Luo Fei's original body was killed, even if Night Sorrow was the killer. As for whether it was true or not, everyone knew. Lord Knight, it hasn't been long since I last came. I hope it's not a new scene. Luo Yuandao said after sitting down. Oh, new, fastest Y on P hashtag. Asterisk, being able to gain a foothold in the Misty Dynasty is also due to luck. Young Mansion Lord Luo, have a seat. Night Sorrow invited Luo Fei to sit. You can't use luck to erase your hard work. It's not easy. Luo Yuandao naturally knew about the conflict between Night Sorrow, Yuanji, and Gong Yufan. Haha. Night Sorrow is very happy that Mansion Lord Luo is here. Please try this tea. Night Sorrow poured a cup of heart-cleansing tea for Luo Yuandao. Night Sorrow didn't neglect Luo Fei. He also poured a cup of tea for Luo Fei, who received it with both hands. You're too polite. I, Luo Yuandao, believe that I have a good eye for people. I didn't want to become enemies with Lord Knight, because I felt that it wasn't easy for young people to come out. Of course, this isn't enough to resolve some problems. Sometimes kindness is a luxury. Most importantly, I feel that you will have a bright future, Luo Yuandao said. Mansion Lord Luo's words are too serious. However, it's rare to have kindness in your heart. Knight Sorrow nodded. I just came out of Star Moon Lake and may encounter some problems. If you need help, Lord Knight Sorrow doesn't need to be polite. You can send someone to Shadow Mansion to inform me. I'm willing to make friends with you and form some good karma. Luo Yuandao expressed his willingness to befriend Luo Fei. Knight Sorrow thanks Mansion Lord Luo. I will accept Knight Sorrow's hospitality. Knight Sorrow smiled. He felt that Luo Yuandao was definitely an ambitious person. He was decisive and didn't hesitate in the slightest. Whatever he had in mind, he would immediately make a decision. Lord Knight Sorrow is young and promising. If our Luo family's children have half of your ability, then I won't have to worry. Fair, remember to be like Knight Sorrow. Luo Yuandao looked at his son beside him and said. Luo Fei stood up and bowed to Knight Sorrow. He had almost recovered. Luo Yuandao had paid a huge price to repair his scattered soul after the fall of his original body. His soul had also fused with his damaged body. All that was left was to perfect the fusion. Young Prefecture Lord is too polite. I can see that young Prefecture Lord's soul spirit isn't in good condition. I just went to the evil Punisher land. Please accept these flames of life, young Prefecture Lord. Yi Shang took out a jade bottle and handed it to Luo Fei. It contained 3 Heaven Monarch Realm flames of life. This is not appropriate. Today my father and I are here to congratulate Lord Knight Sorrow. Luo Fei didn't bring any gifts. How can I let Lord Knight Sorrow spend money? Luo Fei cupped his hands and shook his head at Knight Sorrow. Mansion Lord Luo. We don't need to be so polite. Knight Sorrow looked at Luo Yuandao. Fair, father has taught you not to accept the kindness of others easily. However, I have also told you not to refuse the kindness of friends. Just keep it in your heart. Accept this gift. Luo Yuandao said to Luo Fei. Luo Fei thanks Lord Knight. I will remember your kindness. Luo Fei reached out and took the jade bottle in Knight Sorrow's hand. After chatting for a while, Luo Yuandao invited Knight Sorrow to the Shadow Mansion as a guest when he had time. He then left the Night Moon Villa with Luo Fei. This is Luo Yuandao, one of the true figures of the Ethereal Imperial City. He is loyal to the Ethereal Imperial Dynasty, and is deeply trusted by the Ethereal Battle Emperor. He acts both righteous and evil but has his own judgment of right and wrong. It is difficult for him to make a mistake. This can be seen from the way he treats you. Back then, the Grand Elder of the Ethereal Imperial Dynasty, Yuan Ji, was incomparable to him in terms of strategy and ability. He will soon rise to the top of the Ethereal Imperial Dynasty. Lin Xianer said. He is already a mansion lord. How can he rise to the top? Datira asked in surprise. Chapter 1663. Sister Xianer, you mean that Boss Song is trusted by the War Emperor, but in terms of ability, Luo Yuandao is more competent? Knight Sorrow asked. Yes. Luo Yuandao is not as good as Song Ning in terms of battle strength, but he is better at management. Song Ning does not need any status, nor does she need to be promoted to establish her position in the Ethereal Dynasty. She is the sister of the Ethereal War Emperor, and comes from the same family. That is enough. It was the same in the past. Do you see how Song Ning is afraid of the great elder Yuan Ji? She is not afraid at all, haha. Lin Xianer said with a smile. Indeed, Sister Xianer is right. Luo Yuandao is very calm and won't make any mistakes. Knight Sorrow nodded. That. I also know the War Emperor. If you have a different opinion, I can convey it. Lin Xianer said. Sister Xian also knows a big shot, but I don't have any opinion. I've interacted with Luo Yuandao a few times. There were conflicts in the past, but he chose to back down. Later he came to resolve the conflict. With such a magnanimous heart, I don't reject him. Through the exchange just now, I recognize his character. said Yishan. His ascension will only bring benefits to Star Moon Lake. Datira said. Lin Xian shared her thoughts with Night Sorrow and Datira. In fact, after Yuanji's fall, Lin Xian already had this intention, but she didn't make any arrangements. After seeing Luo Yuandao's performance today, she was firm in her decision. Inside the Shadow Mansion, Father Night Sorrow's rise is too fast. He is now a half-step sovereign. Luo Fei said. Once this little guy enters the Emperor realm, he'll be amazing. He won't be able to stop himself. Even the emperors of the older generation will be left behind by him. Sir War Emperor has foresight in arranging him to be the overlord. He's the second overlord in the history of the ethereal dynasty. You know the first overlord is Lin Qixing. Who dares to provoke Lin Qixing now? Luo Yuandao asked. Your son admires him. He dares to fight and fight. He's fighting his way out. Luo Fei sighed. We don't lack the fire of life of the Heaven Monarch realm, but accepting it is a sign of our attitude. Sometimes, one's attitude decides everything. Aside from the view of benefits, he was also a rare good friend. Look at that damn fatty from the pawn shop. Now that Yuanji had brought him along, he was also doing well. What could Yuanji do to him? Besides, how bad could the person that Song Ning and Wu Fing approved be? In Jianghu, you need sincere friends. Since you can admire him, it means that there is no barrier in your heart. Father can rest assured. Luo Yuandao patted his son's shoulder. Fei will always remember father's teachings. Some setbacks might be an opportunity for me to rise. Luo Fei nodded. That's enough. There's no problem with you becoming the deputy mansion lord of our shadow mansion, Luo Yuandao said. Vice prefecture lord. Father, what are you doing? Luo Fei was a bit confused, because there was no such thing as a vice prefecture lord in the 7 prefectures. Our Luo family has so many young mansion lords, but most of them are trash. In order for you to develop as soon as possible, Shadow Mansion will have a deputy mansion lord. Those emperors and commanders will also be under your command. You don't have to worry. No matter what you do, father will be there. Luo Yuandao nodded to his son. Luo Yuandao believed in destruction and reconstruction. When he found that his son's original body had an accident but didn't completely perish, he felt that this was a ray of hope in the heavenly Tao. Once he passed the tribulation, he would have a smooth road ahead. Therefore, he helped his son recover at all costs. Fei won't disappoint father. Luo Fei bowed to Luo Yuandao. Haha, this is confidence. Luo Yuandao laughed. Song Ning, I admit that you are strong. Lin Qixing, I also admit that you have great potential. I'm not as good as you in these aspects, but our Luo family will continue to have people in the future. Our Luo family is a big family. Luo Yuandao announced that Luo Fei would be the vice mansion lord. This caused an uproar in the Shadow Mansion. One had to know that there were more than 10 vice mansion lords and several princesses in the Shadow Mansion. Luo Fei, who had been keeping a low profile recently and whose original body was almost destroyed, was appointed as the vice mansion lord. This was because there were a few vice mansion lords who were stronger than Luo Fei and had more subordinates. All the core members of the Dark Shadow Manor had gathered in the Dark Shadow Great Hall, including a few elders, emperor-level commanders, and some young masters. There were 3 grand elders in the Shadow Mansion. One of them was the patriarch of a family with a different surname, and the other was the sect master of a sect. They trusted Luo Yuandao, so they joined the Shadow Mansion and became grand elders. Luo Yuandao also treated them well. Do the 3 grand elders have any objections to my decision? Luo Yuandao looked at the 3 grand elders of the Shadow Mansion. We haven't seen the vice mansion lord's ability, but we know that the mansion lord's decision can't be wrong. We support it. The first grand elder said. Yes. Although we don't know the vice mansion lord's situation, the mansion lord's approval can't be wrong. The second grand elder nodded in agreement. The 3 grand elders and the 2 emperor rank commanders had no objections. Then it's decided. From today onwards, Luo Fei will be the vice mansion lord of the Shadow Mansion. I'll leave my words here. No matter whether his decision is right or wrong, no one in the Shadow Mansion can go against it. If anyone is dissatisfied, they can come to me after the matter is over. However, if anyone dares to contradict or disobey, they will be executed. The grand elders and commanders did not object, not because they trusted Luo Fei, but because they trusted Luo Yuandao's foresight. They trusted Luo Yuandao unconditionally. Not only did Luo Yuandao announce this within the Shadow Mansion, but he also announced this decision to the public. It could be said that he had confirmed Luo Fei as the successor of the Shadow Mansion. Knight Sorrow also received the news. This Luo Yuandao is really bold. He directly appointed Luo Fei without caring if he can convince the public, Datira said. It doesn't matter if Luo Fei can convince the public at the moment. It's enough that Luo Yuandao can convince the public. We have to congratulate Luo Fei for becoming the Vice Mansion Lord, Knight Sorrow said. Knight Sorrow did not bring any expensive gifts, as the Shadow Mansion did not lack them. He only brought 2 packets of heart-cleansing tea and 2 jars of wine from the Chaos Realm. He then brought Datira and Ji Dao to the Shadow Mansion. He could not enter. When they arrived at the Shadow Mansion, Knight Sorrow asked for an audience. The gatekeeper did not let him in because they did not know the relationship between Knight Sorrow and the Shadow Mansion. H++U++MP. This made Knight Sorrow feel conflicted. How could he congratulate if he could not enter? Haha. What's going on? Knight Overlord is blocked outside and cannot enter. Is his way of treating guests speechless? Mansion Lord Luo, Knight Overlord is here to congratulate, but cannot enter. Lin Qixing appeared. After smiling at Knight Sorrow, he shouted towards the Shadow Mansion. After shouting, he did not enter and stood at the entrance to accompany Knight Sorrow. Lin Qixing was of low birth and his path was very similar to Knight Sorrow's. He was also an overlord at first and later joined the ethereal royal dynasty to become a mansion lord. However, he joined for a reason. His master was an elder of the ethereal city lord mansion. Chapter 1664. Luo Fei, who was in charge of receiving the guest, also apologized to the guest and quickly went to the gatehouse. My apologies, Overlord Knight. It was Luo Fei's fault. It's not wrong for you guys to guard the place carefully, but it's your fault for not reporting in time. Go and receive your punishment. Remember not to report when Overlord Knight comes in the future. He is Lord Father's honored guest, and also a good friend of mine. Luo Fei first cupped his hands in apology to Yi Shang, then took care of the guard's mistake. Vice Palace Lord Luo is too polite. Knight Sorrow shook his head. Palace Lord Lin is here. Forgive me for not going out to meet you. Luo Fei cupped his hands and gestured for Lin Qixing to enter. Not bad, you have your father's style. Lin Qixing glanced at Luo Fei and nodded. We'll take your words as a compliment. Palace Lord Lin, Overlord Knight, please come in. Luo Yuandao appeared and invited Lin Qixing and Knight Sorrow into the residence with a smile. Vice Palace Lord Luo has taken on a heavy responsibility. Knight Sorrow is here to congratulate you. Knight Sorrow placed 2 bags of tea and 2 jars of wine on the table. Overlord Knight, it's better if you call me Luo Fei. It's too distant to call me Vice Palace Lord, Luo Fei said. All right. Today, I'm here to congratulate Brother Luo. Knight Sorrow nodded. Knight Sorrow, you're also an overlord now. You only brought 2 bags of tea and 2 jars of wine to congratulate us? Aren't you worried that Palace Lord Luo will say that our shadow residence doesn't lack 2 bags of broken leaves and 2 jars of yellow soup? Lin Qixing found a seat and sat down. Lin Qixing, are you purposely making things difficult for us? Knight Sorrow, don't mind it. Everyone, take a seat. Luo Yuandao gestured for Knight Sorrow and Datira to sit down before sitting down. I feel that the shadow residence doesn't lack anything, so I only brought 2 bags of tea and 2 jars of wine from my hometown. It's enough as long as it's a token of my sincerity, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. Come, make the tea brought by Lord Yi, and let some people taste the broken leaves. Fei, sit down, father is here to receive the guests for you. Luo Yuan waved his hand to the servants and then nodded to Luo Fei who was standing to the side. Luo Fei called for a servant to serve Ji Dao before sitting down. After the heart-cleansing tea was brewed, Luo Fei poured a cup for everyone, and then slowly tasted the tea himself. After drinking a mouthful of tea, Lin Qixing closed his eyes to feel it. After a short while, he opened his eyes and the first thing he did was to grab the heart-cleansing tea on the table. Luo Yuandao stretched out his right hand to press down the unopened packet of heart-cleansing tea, while Lin Qixing directly took away the open packet with his left sleeve. Lin Qixing, can you be more shameless? Not only did you not bring a gift, you even tried to snatch it? Luo Yuandao roared at Lin Qixing. It's just tea. Your Luo Yuandao doesn't care. Good things should be shared with everyone. Lin Qixing ignored Luo Yuandao's gaze, and threw the open packet of tea into his storage ring after wrapping it up. He did everything so calmly. Luo Yuandao ignored Lin Qixing and put away the wine beside him. Lord Yi, you have to remember to guard against fire and theft against Qixing. Luo Yuandao, you can't ruin my reputation like this, right? Lin Qixing looked at Luo Yuandao and said, do you have a reputation? At the very least, you don't have a reputation in Shadow Mansion. Luo Yuandao said. I'm leaving. Lord Yi, come to Qixing Mansion as a guest when you have time. Lin Qixing got up and left without even looking at Luo Yuandao. Luo Yuandao didn't see Lin Qixing off. Instead, he explained to Yi Shang with a smile. Overlord Yi, don't mind this scoundrel. Although we often argue, we're still friends. He's just like that. I can see that. He's casual because we're familiar with each other. Night Sorrow nodded with a smile. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow and Datira returned to Night Moon Manor with Ji Dao. Lin Qixing's visit to Shadow Mansion was a form of congratulations. Luo Yuandao was also very clear about this. When Night Sorrow was practicing his spear at night, Ji Dao came to report that 7 Stars Mansion Master Lin Qixing had requested to see him. He had already brought him to Night Moon Manor's waterside pavilion. Why is he here? I'll go take a look. Night Sorrow greeted Lin Xian, and Datira who were chatting by the side, and went to the waterside pavilion in front of Night Moon Manor. Lin Qixing stood up and cupped his fists when he saw Night Sorrow. Mansion Master Lin, please excuse me for not going out to welcome you. Night Sorrow said. I'm sorry to disturb you at this late hour. I'll get straight to the point. My father passed away at a young age, and I only have one mother. My mother loves tea, and was full of praises after drinking Lord Ye's tea today. Lin Qixing said. No problem. I only have 2 packets for now. I'll prepare more for Mansion Master Lin later. Night Sorrow took out 2 more packets of heart-cleansing tea and gave them to Lin Qixing. You're looking down on Mansion Master Yi by saying that you'll pay for it. I'm leaving. After keeping the tea, Lin Qixing left Night Moon Manor in a flash. Night Sorrow smiled and left the waterside pavilion. However, he saw Lin Xian, and Datira walking over. Luo Yuandao is right. 7 stars should be wary of fire and theft. Isn't this robbery? Datira said. As a son, I'm willing to take care of things for my mother. I can even say that I don't care about my face. This is filial piety. Night Sorrow shook his head with a smile. He really didn't mind and admired Lin Qixing. Aluo, Lin Qixing doesn't take anyone's things. He won't accept anything from someone he doesn't like because he thinks that Night Sorrow can do it. That's why he doesn't bother about trifles. Lin Xian explained Lin Qixing's way of doing things. In terms of understanding of the 7 mansion masters of the ethereal empire, Lin Xian was second to none. Someone once said that a filial person can't be too bad. Lin Qixing's eyes are sharp but innocent. He should be a maverick. Datira said. In the next 2 days, the city lord residents sent out a decree. The Shadow Mansion Master, Luo Yuandao, was also the enforcement elder of the ethereal city lord residents, and was in charge of handling the matters of the ethereal empire. Night Sorrow didn't find this matter strange because Lin Xian had already predicted it that day. Night Sorrow came to congratulate him again. At the same time, the god-slaying team arrived at the Night Moon Villa. Night Sorrow's 2 disciples, Ning Yun and Chiyue, also came. Night Sorrow held a banquet for them. Night Sorrow was especially happy. He clinked glasses with each of his brothers and drank. Long Jin, Lei Bao, Lei Zhang, Yun Huang, Ho Jian, Shui Ling, Nan Liyue, Ling Long, and Qian Ziwei were all brothers and sisters that he valued. There was no need to mention Qin Zhen, who was his earliest brother. 13th brother, I thought you didn't care about us anymore. Tianyu, who was sitting beside Night Sorrow, said softly. That's right. I haven't seen 13th brother in a long time. Yimei's eyes were a little red. You guys are thinking too much. I just came to the celestial realm and didn't have a firm foothold. If there was danger, I wouldn't dare to bring you guys here. You guys are my brothers and sisters. How can I not care about you? Night Sorrow turned around and hugged Tianyu and Yimei. Look. Authentic. Chapter 1 Unspecified Currency. Zilin Xian'er, who was standing in the distance, looked at the group of people drinking with shock in her eyes. Azure Rock Bloodline, Nine-Tailed Fox Bloodline, and Top Dragon's Bloodline. What kind of bloodline is this? Chapter 1665. Whether it was the Azure Rock Bloodline, the Nine-Tailed Fox Bloodline, or the Top Dragon's Bloodline, any one of them was enough to scare people to death. Void World. Just how many people have planted seeds in the new Void World? Lin Xian'er muttered to herself before disappearing into the night. The battlefield of our rise has shifted to the celestial realm, but to be honest, we are all trash, so we have to endure and develop our strength. Don't go out looking for trouble. Longjin, look after them. Night Sorrow said to Longjin. Captain, everyone is very obedient. Longjin said with a smile. At this time, Longjin was really rising rapidly. He was already a 6-star king. Look at the original chapter section above Q. With Night Sorrow's help, the accumulation of energy was not a problem for everyone in the God-slaying squad. Even time was not a problem. Because of the auxiliary body of the Clear Sky Pagoda, everyone had to pay attention to the increase of their realm. Hong Yi and Lanning are the housekeepers here. If there's anything you need, you can look for them. If there's anything you don't understand about cultivation, you can look for me or Aluo. Also, Chiyue, pay attention to your rest. If you don't pay attention, you will become a grandmaster. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Chiyue was currently pregnant. After leaving, Night Sorrow entered the Dragon Cauldron and refined a batch of Star Moon Lake imprints. It was only a small array sign. After refining it, Night Sorrow injected the void energy, causing the square-inch imprint to emit a faint purple light. Night Sorrow took the purple imprint and gave it to Datura. Aluo, distribute it to everyone. Send a batch to my master as well. Tell him that those who are not from the primal chaos realm are not to touch this thing. Night Sorrow gave the gold spirit an order. If cultivators with malicious intent or killing intent entered the Night Moon Villa, the Star Moon Lake imprint would distinguish between friend and foe. In addition, the gold spirit could distinguish between hostility and non-hostility. Night Sorrow was just reminding them. On this Night Sorrow, while guiding Ning Yun and the members of the God-slaying squad in their cultivation, he suddenly stopped moving. Flames appeared on his head, and below the flames was a black whirlpool filled with wind energy. Step back, don't get close. Jinling, protect me. Datura shouted. Lin Xian'er also appeared. Soul-extinguishing flame, destructive divine wind. This is the wind-fire tribulation of the Emperor realm. After speaking, Lin Xian'er left the Night Moon Villa in a flash. After leaving the Night Moon Villa, Lin Xian'er arrived at the teleportation array as quickly as she could and started the teleportation. She was teleporting towards the Heaven's Vault tribe. She knew that Night Sorrow's original body had made a breakthrough towards the 9th stage. At this time, no one would disturb him, because Night Sorrow was the center of the laws of heaven and earth during the tribulation. But what about after the tribulation? After successfully passing the tribulation, the man-made tribulation would arrive. Lin Xian'er was worried that the Heaven's Vault tribe would make things difficult for Night Sorrow. They would invite Night Sorrow to join the Heaven's Vault tribe. If he refused, it would be a disaster. According to Night Sorrow's character, it was impossible for him to join. Lin Xian'er's doppelganger set off first, followed by her original body. She was prepared for a big battle. If the high priest of the Heaven's Vault tribe made a move, she would fight with all her strength. Night Sorrow, who was cultivating at the Heaven's Vault cliff, originally had the fastest advancement of his will of destruction. He had already entered the 5-star king realm. After all, it was the sole power of a half-step emperor, so the comprehension of his will was fast. Next was the advancement of his domain of nothingness. As for the space-time attribute, it had always been a bottleneck. However, just as Night Sorrow was stabilizing his cultivation, the baleful Earth Chi appeared at the top of the heaven's vault cliff. A cycle of violent impact collided with the energy in the void, producing space-time destruction. Watching the destruction of space-time, Night Sorrow broke through the bottleneck of the space-time attribute. After breaking through the bottleneck of the space-time attribute, Night Sorrow's comprehension was unstoppable. The seventh bloodline talent energy point was activated, and the space momentum burst forth. Even the time momentum appeared and began to revolve around Night Sorrow. The space-time attribute heaven and earth momentum formed the space-time domain. As Night Sorrow's seventh bloodline talent energy point continued to release the heaven and earth momentum, Night Sorrow's space-time domain became more and more mature. In less than 7 days, he completed the transition from the generation of heaven and earth momentum to 10%, crossing the threshold of the Emperor realm. At this time, the members of the Heaven's Vault Cliff who had received the news also arrived. They didn't intend to do anything to Night Sorrow. Even if they wanted to, they couldn't do anything at this time. Because the laws of heaven and earth were irreversible, Night Sorrow's Emperor realm tribulation had arrived. It was the soul extinguishing flame and the destruction divine wind. Any one of them would be fatal, so no one dared to approach. Night Sorrow sat there cross-legged, surrounded by the destruction divine wind, and enveloped by the soul extinguishing flame. Whether it was the destruction divine wind or the soul extinguishing flame, once it entered the body, it would be obliterated and die. To control the heaven and earth momentum, one had to be tested by the heaven and earth tribulation. If one passed it, one would be like a carp leaping through the dragon gate. If one failed, one would die. One had to pay the price of not having the ability to touch the heaven and earth momentum. The high priest of the Heaven's Vault tribe also arrived. Standing beside him was Commander Yu, the strongest soul-extinguishing flame and destruction divine wind. An unparalleled talent will also face an unparalleled tribulation. I don't know if he can pass it. If he can, we really need this person. This is a deviation from my original estimation. The high priest of the Heaven's Vault tribe changed his opinion. Lin Xian, sped up the teleportation. She even used her own energy to replace the Saint Spirit Stones to activate the teleportation array and increase the speed of the teleportation. Originally, a teleportation would take 15 minutes, but she completed it in a moment. She knew that this was Night Sorrow's crisis. Night Sorrow sat cross-legged and activated his leakless true body to resist the invasion of the soul-extinguishing flame and the destruction divine wind. One attacked the soul, and the other attacked the body. The tribulation of wind and fire was to obliterate the cultivator's body and soul. His defense was very stable. This was the most crucial step in the cultivation journey. Night Sorrow was very cautious. He didn't have any way to counterattack. He could only rely on defense until the destruction divine wind and the soul-extinguishing flame dissipated. The cultivators who were meditating near Night Sorrow also left. Night Sorrow had the most destruction divine wind and the soul-extinguishing flame. But there was also the destruction divine wind and the soul-extinguishing flame that suddenly appeared around him. This was a warning from the heavenly Tao not to interfere with the tribulation. He could only resist it head-on. Night Sorrow's heart was as calm as still water. He activated his leakless true body to resist the suppression of the tribulation of wind and fire. In his extremely calm state of mind, Night Sorrow discovered that there were some wills in the destruction divine wind that he hadn't comprehended yet. He immediately immersed his mind and continued to comprehend them. The destruction will appear on Night Sorrow's body, and the power of the destruction will continue to rise. This is a madman. He's still trying to comprehend the destruction divine wind during his tribulation, Commander Yu muttered. He has so many terrifying attributes. This is a monster. He will either rise up or fall. There is no other possibility, High Priest Heaven said. With a tyrannical soul power as a foundation and a calm state of mind, Night Sorrow's control over the destruction will rapidly improve. From the 5-star King realm, he entered the 6-star King realm. He didn't stop there either. He advanced all the way to the 7-star King realm, reaching the high-level Destruction King realm. The attribute laws and wills contained in the tribulations of the world were the most complete. Just like the lightning tribulation, it was a complete fusion of the lightning attribute laws and wills. The destruction divine wind contained the most complete laws and wills, which was what Night Sorrow needed the most. Speak. You're tuning in to the Echoes of the Heart YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.